by drawing customers' attention to your business. So if you're looking to leave that lasting impression, call us 561-687-7993 or visit signoramawpb.com.
Tee up your taste buds with the ultimate pairing, great food, and golf. Theo Dorsey here at The House in West Palm Beach. Overlooking the park's world-class 18-hole golf course, The House offers coastal American dishes that will satisfy anyone's palate. The House is open Thursday through Sunday for lunch, brunch, and dinner. Stop by for an entree and receive a free round at the park's The Lit 9 Par 3 course. On The House. Visit thehousewestpalm.com for their full menu and to make reservations.
I'm Wendy Sartori-Link, your Palm Beach County Supervisor of Elections. Tuesday, November 5th is Election Day and the polls are open 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Find where you vote at votepalmbeach.gov. Remember to bring your photo and signature ID. If you still have a mail ballot, you can either vote in person at your polling location, drop it off at one of our drop-off locations during designated hours, or bring it to our main office by 7 p.m. on Election Day. It's an honor to serve and ensure your vote counts. See you at the polls. Sponsored by the Palm Beach County Supervisor of Elections Office.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill, when your friend bets against your team and the friendship. Or choose chill because you're drinking Coors Light with your buddy. Coors Light, choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Now, it's time for a little R&R.
All into the bucket, lays it up and in.
Ball game, Rizzo! Live in the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, this is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
This team is going to be tough when they finally get it together.
Sit back and relax. Let Russo and Rizzo take you home.
Oh, mercy! Light him up, Colin!
All right, we're past the midway points of the week. Now we're sitting here on Thursday thinking about another week of football, another week of action, another week of fun. It's Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, Christian Cat behind the glass. How you doing, everybody? Hope your day is going well so far, because we know ours is, and we got a packed schedule for you today. World Series first pitch tomorrow night between the Yankees and the Dodgers. Star-studded one that is. Tonight, Vikings-Rams in Los Angeles tonight on Thursday Night Football. You got a ranked team playing tonight in college football. You got Pitt hosting Syracuse. You got a whole lot to watch. The NBA is fully off and running. College basketball in a couple weeks. There's a whole lot to look forward to. We'll take you all through it. 4 to 6 today on ESPN 106.3 at the City Place Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. It's weird. We've had a couple days off of baseball. Mm-hmm. It's sort of on the back burner of your mind, but you forget that the Fall Classic is getting going here in just about 24 hours.
I can't wait. Two giant teams in the Yankees and the Dodgers. And for me, I love rooting against the Yankees, as CCAT knows. So I will be having my Uncle Jamie LA Dodger hat on this entire year. My Uncle Colin lives out in Los Angeles. He's actually going to be going to a couple of these games.
You going to game one?
No, game two.
Oh.
So he sold his game one tickets for a king's ransom in true Uncle Jamie fashion. I can't blame him. But mega World Series coming up for all the right reasons, I think, with the stars and whatnot in baseball. But I'll tell you what, Colin, a lot of heavy payrolls too, man.
Yeah,
a lot of heavy
that
payrolls.
Gets into the theme today is all of a sudden, based on the preseason payrolls, and I know it changes via year based on who you ship in, who you ship out, and you never can get a straight answer with basically how much money is officially on the books with each MLB team. But basically the gist is that the Yankees and the Dodgers, who pay an obscene amount of money in luxury tax, number one, but two, have giant payroll strict on the books, number two, other than the Mets. But the Mets were right there in it as well. They're the last three teams alive were the three highest payrolls in baseball, and now you got, I believe the Yankees and Dodgers are 2 and 3 respectively in payrolls in the MLB. All of a sudden, now they're in the postseason, and it poses the question, because it's always been a topic of conversation, is this a good thing for baseball? Is this a positive that the teams that have spent the most money are now reaping the benefits on the biggest stage at the end of the year? To one side, you get the stars. You get all the guys who have paid, getting the giant contracts and getting paid an obscene amount of money. You get to see them in the biggest stage with the most eyes in the biggest games all year. On the flip side of things, baseball is an unregulated salary cap nightmare that it has under. People want to say that it needs a salary cap. Some people say it doesn't. Whoever you talk to, the point of the story is there's a giant discrepancy between how the payrolls are organized team by team. That is the gist of how the baseball free agency works. So there's the flip side that you get the stars on one end, but on the other end, this hurts the small market team. So what's your take on this, Mike Rizzo, that the 2 and 3 highest payrolls in baseball, and basically the final 3 were the final 3 teams alive in the MLB postseason?
I always root for a small market team to get there because I root for a small market team. But I can't deny that this is probably the best World Series we've had in ages, probably since the Boston Red Sox. I'm trying to think on 2013 Red Sox and Cardinals. The Red Sox were one of the best teams I've seen in 2013 against the St. Louis Cardinals, who are a part of, I would say, baseball royalty, right? They're the second most World Series behind the New York Yankees. I don't think this is bad for baseball. And I think baseball needed as much as it hurts for me to say this as a Guardian fan, baseball needed a World Series like this. It's not a coincidence that every talk show host, including us, Colin, we're saying that baseball needs the Yankees. They need the Dodgers because they need the ratings. This is going to do mega ratings. This is going to promote the game fantastically. And last year, you had the Rangers and the Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks were a small market team who didn't spend a lot of money. But I think people forget, Colin, that the Rangers spent a ton of money last year. The Rangers went out and made moves in the at the trade deadline, acquiring Scherzer and acquiring a bunch of other players. They signed.
That didn't make that much of a difference, but I also paid Seager.
Yeah,
there's a ton of money. Yes.
Nonetheless, they paid a lot of money for the roster. I think people forgot that the Rangers spent a lot of money last year, but to your point, not second and not third. I personally think this is a good World Series for baseball. I couldn't care less that these teams have a high payroll because we've seen so many times in years past in the MLB, just because you spend money doesn't mean you're going to win anything. Look at what I know the Mets had magic and mojo this year, but look what happened to the Mets for 2 straight years of spending money. They didn't even make the playoffs. So I'm completely fine with the big money teams being there. Baseball is as well because it's going to do great ratings.
888-760-3776. Is this high payroll translating finally to immediate transactional, I should say, success? No. Is this good for baseball? I'm on both sides here. I understand the point that baseball needs this type of star power, and that's the benefit on that side. But the other side that I would say is, with how unregulated it is, as it is, what is baseball supposed to do here in terms of the optics surrounding the small market teams? Now, all of a sudden, there's proof in the pudding that paying can translate to winning. Because there was always the negative with the Mets last year and the Dodgers and the Yankees never getting it done. There was always the optics of, you could spend all that money, it doesn't make a difference. Now we're on the other end of that. They spent all the money. It is making a difference.
I think baseball is saying exactly what you just said, though, Kyle. I think they're saying, listen, people might think we have a salary cap issue, but look at the World Series and look at the teams that have been able to have some success in years past. The Rangers, the Astros. Now, Colin, I know the Astros spent some money. They have money, yeah, but not like this. Agreed?
I mean, they're top upper echelon of the league, but they're not the top 2, is what you're saying.
Correct. So Rangers, Astros,
but the Dodgers have been in it. So I think that.
But hear me out.
The payment does translate to success and getting to the postseason. I think that is without a doubt.
And do you want to know what paying does? And we'll talk to our reluctant producer CCAT here at 5:00. But CCAT would agree as a Yankee fan. Money gets you those home runs by Juan Soto. Those home runs. As much as I think Stanton is a phony in the regular season, Stanton gives you that edge to be able to hit a ball 420 feet at any given time. That's why those guys make hundreds of millions of dollars. That's what money gives you. It gives you an instant access to offense at any point. Even Aaron Judge found his stride finally against the Guardians in the playoffs. So that's what money gets you. Money gets you top-tier talent that's going to separate you.
Sure. Isn't that part of the problem? So the fact that the difference makers need to get paid, and there's 50% of teams in the league that straight up don't pay it.
It hasn't been a problem since the last time I feel the Yankees have been good. Would you agree on this? San Francisco won a lot of championships in the mid-2000s. were they spending crazy money?
I'd have to look at the salary
Right,
cap.
me too.
They have a rich owner, but generally I don't know the salary cap situation.
The Cardinals with the Tony La Russa teams that had Albert Pujols and Jim Edmonds and whatnot. Pujols left to make
They spend money, yeah.
They spend, not recently. I'll say that about the Cardinals. They don't open the checkbook recently, but they did let Albert Pujols walk. I'm more or less going through the recent World Series champions. I feel like this hasn't really been a problem since it's always with the Yankees. You want to know what the theme is? It's always with this baseball team. This conversation gets brought up every single time New York gets there because New York spends the giant money, and everyone remembers, at least not me, Colin, or you, because you were born after, and I was born in 94. I mean, the Yankees won 3 in a row. People had a problem with that. People had a problem with the Yankees winning 3 in a row, and then the Diamondbacks win, and then the Angels win, and then the Marlins win. 3 teams where you look on paper and go, all right, they're not spending crazy money. I feel like we go through cycles with this, and the cycle is this baseball team, the New York Yankees.
I think there's some truth to that. I really do. But I think this is at least bearing of the conversation that this needs to change. They need to apply some sort of, and I understand.
You want a cap? You want a cap.
Absolutely. You need a cap and a floor.
I agree.
You need both. You need a cap and a floor. And for the people that, I understand it's an impossible thing to get together with the owners and the players because the players want the floor and the owners want the cap. That's the bottom line. And you can't get them to deviate or mediate either side, so they just make way with both.
I think majority of the owners want the cap. The owners that probably aren't spending Yankee money in Dodger. Do you think the Yankee and Dodgers would want salary caps?
Yes.
Why though?
Because they don't. The owners don't have to spend.
But
they don't have to spend as much money.
Okay.
They don't want to.
I feel like maybe they feel that they have an advantage right now.
Well, I'm sure
they can go out
because they're willing to spend the money. I think that's a little different. I don't think it's they view it as much as an advantage. I think they're just willing to invest. And I think the ultimate aspect of it is with the salary cap. I think maybe not the majority of the owners. But most of them don't want these players to get, 14 years and $390 million every 5 seconds. They don't want that.
To your point, what is Juan Soto going to make this offseason?
He's probably going to make upward of $550, close to $600 million.
And Yankee fans are going to cry bloody murder if it's not with New York.
So the idea that baseball, the free agency thing it's not leveled, it's not okay. Baseball is just lucky that it has the most streaky game of all of the major sports. It is as streaky as it can possibly get. It is all about a team who gets hot for 3.5 weeks, and that's the team that wins it all. That's the benefit. The negative is most of the teams that are in the postseason are in a lot of ways reflected on the payrolls that they put together. The Phillies are always in it. They spend a ton of money. Like it's always based on who spends the most that at least gets there. The Dodgers have been there every year because they spend the most money. The Yankees are always there every year because they spend the most money. And you could go down the list. There's the Mets, of course, fluky with where they spent their money, but that was a fresh owner.
And personally, I don't think the Mets spent it wisely.
Yeah, it was a fresh owner.
If you're going to spend money, you got to do it wisely. Just because you're go ahead.
No, please. I'm not.
It's just because you're spending money to say you're spending money, that's a problem. You got to do kind of what the Yankees have done. Right, the Yankees, Colin, have a bunch of left-handed hitters who could hit the ball out of the park at any given time because they have that Mickey Mouse right field wall, And the Dodgers have. I mean, look who they decided to spend their money on. Mookie Betts, one of the best players. Freddie Freeman. I still can't believe Freddie Freeman isn't a Brave. And Colin, I think Freddie Freeman can't believe he's not a Brave still.
And there's teams that are even suffer from that because
not to mention Ohtani.
Teams walking away from the Braves, but also the Braves pluck from the small market teams. So it's almost like it's a food chain of who can pluck who and where's the next level. Who's the shark at the end of the tunnel and who's like the barracuda? And then who's the minnow? So it's a big food chain basically on the power of the owner.
I like that.
On who can get who. It's big fish eats little fish. Then bigger fish eats big fish. Then giant fish eats bigger fish. Then the shark eats the large fish. That's the idea. That is a problem. If you look across the street, the NFL has shown you a perfect system. A perfect system in how to spend their money. And the NBA used to be good. It was terrible. And then they just fixed it with the fixing of the CBA. And I know the extension, and basically, if you're not the worst player ever, you're going to make $300 million in the NBA. But based on the amount of players, it's comparable to football.
And also, what the NBA did that I actually like, and you won't hear that come out of my mouth a lot, but what the NBA did that I like, Colin, is they gave the small market teams a chance to give their star player the most money. Like, who is it that I forget who recently just left their small market team, Colin? But there is a example out there where if he would have stayed, he would have made like $100 million more.
Because they offer
he would have
the
made more money.
discounts, the luxury tax if you draft him. There's stipulations that are in place. The Warriors dealt with it for years because they drafted all those guys. If you draft them and home develop them, you get the luxury cap discounts. And the NBA had a problem with that. They could spend too much money. And it's almost a bad example to include the NBA because every single one of them is just abhorrently rich. But the football is comparable because there's as many players on a football field as there is a baseball field.
Do you like that for the small market team? It's like it's an incentive.
The fact that the Magic and the fact that the Cavaliers and the fact that the the Brooklyn Nets and this team and that team, the Hornets, can sign these guys to major contract extensions and keep these guys homegrown. Some people might think it's a problem. It keeps the league balanced in some degree.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned Sharks and Minnows in the MLB. I mean, we all know who the Sharks are with the Yankees, with the Dodgers. You mentioned the Phillies. I think that's a brilliant one as well.
It turns into it's much more strategic when it's salary cap.
And then the Minnows, you got your Clevelands, you got your Oaklands, what do I call them?
Rays.
Yeah, what do I call them, buddy?
The Sacramento.
The Sacramento. What do I call them now?
The AAA team.
But it's historically we have seen these small market teams. Like my favorite baseball player ever, Colin, Jim Thome. I remember my dad trying to explain to me as a small child why Jim Thome didn't play for the Indians anymore. As a young fan, Colin, I didn't understand.
Yeah,
I didn't understand it.
And it's ultimately a good thing when these teams can have an opportunity to keep these players. Baseball, there's no strategy to free agency. There is a strategy to trade deadline. That's why it's fun. But free agency, if you're a great player, you're going to where the biggest check lands.
Yep.
NBA is a little different. There's sometimes drama with the NBA, but they extend them so early. Football, it's all strategic. Who are we going to get here? Who are we going to get there? We're actually going to get this guy. We're going to make a trade and re-sign him. We're going to extend him. We're going to turn this into a salary cap. Or turn this into a signing bonus. It's perfectly strategic. That's why people get into the free agency stuff. Mm-hmm. MLB, you're just waiting for Scott Boras to negotiate another $500 million deal for this guy for the next 27 years.
I got two teams for you for the Sharks and Minnows. Going back to the Sharks and Minnows thing. The Giants, they're a wannabe Shark.
Yeah.
Agreed?
Yes, they spend a lot of money.
They're a wannabe Shark, and I used to say they're the hypothetical girl that gets left at the altar. Remember, they wanted Aaron Judge. They missed out on him. They've wanted plenty.
They can't shoot with the big fish, but they're like...
But they have... Here's the thing, Colin. They have the money. The stars just don't want to go there. They rather go...
They're the Mako Shark. They're not the Great White.
And then do you want to know who used to be a Great White that's slowly turning it into a tuna fish? And I've had this but I've had this take on the show. It's the Boston Red Sox. They have chosen not to go after the Shohei Ohtanis and the top of the free agent lists and maybe do the things in-house. Has it netted them success so far? No. Let's wait a couple years.
But they're a tremendously run franchise. I think that's part of it.
You say that, and listen, I agree with you. The
World
Series...
they won 04, 07, 13,
That's what
18.
I mean. The World Series are hard to argue with, but what's the biggest thing I get from my uncle and my cousins from Boston are... What's the direction? What's the plan?
Well, that's right now.
Is
I
the
understand.
plan to win 81 games every single year?
I understand. Bad couple years for them. You're right. But the idea is there's confidence in how they run that ball club. It's different when you're thinking about the Oakland A's of the world or, here or there. There's the Angels. There's a difference in how they sort of run their franchises. The Red Sox are a well-run organization. They always have been.
Last thing on the Sox, 78 wins in 2022, 78 wins in 2023, 81 this year. And then the mess that was the Rafael Devers. They signed Devers, and then Devers 2 months later kind of goes public and goes, why the hell didn't you guys sign anybody? What's going on here? So that's why more or less I question what's going on there in Boston right now.
Sure, and that's a fair point. And but they never been they were never the Yankee spenders, but they had the money.
Yeah,
They always had the money.
The player that came to mind, the player I think that put them over the edge for 2004 was Manny Ramirez.
Mm-hmm.
Like when they went out and they got Ramirez from Cleveland, and he turned into the star that he was, and
that was a tremendous team, and that team had mojo and magic
and
too.
Character, Colin. My God,
mojo and magic.
The character on that Red Sox team was out of this world. And then with Terry Francona as their manager, there's a documentary coming out about that, I believe, on Netflix.
Well, there's already a ton about that. You know, the 03 comeback and everything like that.
There's another one coming out on Netflix that I'm looking forward to.
But the idea is, if you don't think baseball needs major restructuring with how they handle the payrolls, I don't know what you're watching. I'm not saying it's a problem that the Yankees and Dodgers are there now. I think it's good for baseball it's ultimately, I know I'm playing both sides, but it's true. One thing can be a problem, but you could also be appreciative of what we're getting right now with the Yankees and the Dodgers.
So your take for the World Series is for the payroll part. Do you think it's a problem?
I think it's reflective of a problem. I don't think this specific instance is a problem. That's my answer.
I think, and I'm with you for all that, and I think it's great for baseball. I hate to say it. I can't stand the Yankees and the Guards losing, but it is great for baseball. It's going to do mega viewership between the LA markets and the New York markets, and even for the fan like you and me.
And Japan. But I think it is a little reflective of the fact that baseball, I'll remind myself 3 times a year, at the trade deadline, at the beginning of the year, free agency, and then around now. Baseball needs a salary cap, and baseball needs a salary floor. They need a minimum that owners spend and a maximum that owners spend, because there is no league in sports where the owner is as reflective of what is on the field and is as in control of what is on the field than there is in baseball. Because of that, there needs to be restrictions. We continue the conversation. We'll get into some NFL stuff, some NBA stuff. We got a packed show today. Dodgers and the Yankees. Tomorrow night, first pitch. That's at 8:08. Stick around. It's Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Sports fans, it's the best time of the year. It's fall when everything is happening. Football's back. Fighting gets real. Baseball playoffs. Get ahead of the action. Plan your time now to be at Twin Peaks, the ultimate guys lodge, the ultimate sports lodge. Never ever recover to watch any fights, any MMA, UFC, or boxing pay-per-views. Always watch for free. Of course, the eats, the drinks, the signature scenic views, and of course, Twin Peaks 29-degree ice-cold beer made from scratch favorites like their burgers, wings, mozzarella bites, and so much more. Happy hour weekdays. Take advantage of $5 man-sized drafts. And remember, never ever pay a cover to watch any of the fights. Your official UFC fight headquarters is your official football headquarters all week long, all season long. Eats, drinks, scenic views, 29-degree beers. Twin Peaks, the ultimate guys lodge for everything sports.
Batter up, swing, batter, swing, batter.
This one is for all the marbles. World Series week on ESPN 106.3 is presented by PNC Bank. PNC Bank is committed to making a difference in the lives of the customers they serve in the South Florida community. See how at PNC.com. World Series week on ESPN 106.3 is also presented by Hurricane Grill and Wings, X-Golf West Palm Beach, the Breakers Palm Beach, and South Florida Ford.
Welcome to Homestead Miami, your home for the racing high life. A track as vibrant and colorful as South Florida. An Xfinity and Craftsman Truck Series playoffs doubleheader on Saturday. A Cup Series playoffs showdown on Sunday. And it's all caliente.
Side by side for the race lead.
NASCAR playoffs weekend at Homestead Miami Speedway, October 26th and 27th. Get your tickets now at homesteadmiamispeedway.com.
Hell of a job, guys.
Hey, it's Josh Cohen for the Accident Attorneys, Anajar and Levine. Car accidents, truck accidents, slip and fall, trip and fall. Did you get injured on the job? Workers' comp problems? My friends Mark Anajar and Glenn Levine, they will fight for you. Remember, they do not get paid unless you get paid, and they will fight to get you the maximum compensation you know you deserve. Here's what you do. You just call. Call Anajar and Levine for your absolutely free consultation. Do not settle for just any attorneys. Demand Anajar and Levine, and demand the Anajar and Levine difference. It takes just one phone call to begin to take back control of your life. So do that. Take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-FREE. 1-800-747-3733. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Take back control of your life.
I'm only human, y'all. I'm only human, y'all.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
John Mara, the owner of the New York Giants, announced that head coach Brian Daboll and general manager Joe Schoen are safe and will continue to be in their roles this time next year as all things stand at the moment for the New York Giants. That eliminates another coaching opportunity that could be open before even the end of the year or into the offseason. Now this is turning into last year where there was a plethora of opportunities for coaches to take new spots. That cave is starting to shrink a little bit on where coaches can actually go now that the Giants officially, we could cross them out. And, of course, the Jets are going to have an opening. But, I mean, this is a situation here where a couple of teams now or a couple of prospective head coaches will not have anywhere to go. So that's the case on that. We'll get into that right now. It's Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, Christian Cat behind the glass. I think this is okay for the Giants. First off, let's start here with the Giants keeping Dable and Schoen. I ultimately think that's the right move.
You're
right
with
move.
it.
Right
Okay.
move.
And is it more or less because of bad quarterback play, lack of talent?
Schoen had a great draft. I think letting Saquon go was a bad decision, and that was on him. He's going to have to wear that. But I think
it happened.
He had a good draft, and I think they play hard for Dable, all things considered. I think the quarterback is a problem. So I know Schoen was the reason that Jones really got that contract, but Mara is fairly loyal. I'm okay with this, and I'm ultimately impressed half the time with what I see from the Giants. So I'm okay with
I like Dable. I thought the Chicago Bears at the time when I was doing radio in Illinois, Colin, I thought the Bears should have went harder for Dable. He ultimately ended up going with the Giants, and the Bears got Eberflus. But surprisingly enough, I cannot believe I'm going to say this. I'm good with it too. I think they really need to. I think if the Giants figure out quarterback and a couple more skill players, offensive line, they need to. Do you agree they need to restructure that offense completely?
Yeah.
They need to do something with that.
Well, they got
offense.
Neighbors in there, and they even drafted Tyrone Tracy. He's a good player. So they need a couple new linemen, absolutely. Andrew Thomas got hurt, so he's done for the year. They're behind the eight ball.
Defense isn't that bad.
No, defense is pretty solid. And they got a good defensive line, and they invested a lot of money and resources into there. And I think it's just and that's why they play hard, because their defense is pretty good.
Dare I say, I don't want Jet fans to be upset with me. Dare I say they're outside of the Buffalo Bills, they're the second best team in New York.
Close to it. Yeah.
I don't mean to rain on the Jet parade. I know that they have Aaron Rodgers and some nice players on the outside like Adams and Wilson, but for some reason that's just not working there.
Yeah. So all of a sudden now, with that off the market, the Jets are an opening at head coach. That's already announced. With Saleh out, they're definitely going to do their due diligence there and getting a new head coach, because chances are it's going to be without Aaron Rodgers, if I had to guess. Now you're on a short list here of potential landing spots for future head coaches. Of course, one that's going to be floated, we'll get it out of the way, is the Jacksonville Jaguars with Doug Peterson.
Mm-hmm.
If I was a betting man, I would hope that he would be fired, but that's one of the more loyal owners in the league.
About to say.
And if they all of a sudden win a couple games there and finish with 6-7 wins, I could see them keeping him around. That's just my take.
I think the owner likes him. I think
he's a loyal owner.
And I think
he was loyal with the guy before. He was loyal with Marone. He's loyal with the previous general manager.
You might not like to hear this either, Colin, but I think Peterson does still have clout being a Super Bowl winning head coach. And I don't think the good news for people who want Peterson fired, what's his excuse? What's his excuse?
Well, the same thing that forced him out of Philadelphia is going to force him out of Jacksonville, and it's an overprotection and an over-reliance, and basically he's attached at the hip to his offensive coordinator, Press Taylor. The Eagles wanted him to shake up his coaching staff, and Doug stayed loyal to his guys and said no, and they shipped him out. That's what happened. So that's the same thing is happening in Jacksonville. He is loyal to that offensive staff, and he does not want to move them, and to a detriment. And that's probably going to be the reason, if any, that he is out on top of the team being abysmal other than 2 games.
If the Jags win like 5 or 6 games, I'd be shocked if he came back, Kyle.
I would too.
I'd be shocked.
But 6 or 7, you're having a conversation, which I don't like.
Yeah.
I would still fire him. So Jacksonville's a prospective spot for a head coach.
Can I throw one out there?
Sure.
Let's get this out of the way, too. I wouldn't rule anything out in Cleveland. I love Kevin Stefanski.
I'd be really surprised if he was like
Colin, one thing we've learned with this organization, nothing is impossible. They could blow this thing up at any given point. I hope he keeps his job. I don't think they need to be on the list, but keep an eye on it.
Yeah,
how about that?
Keep an eye on it. I agree. Not on the list.
Keep an eye on it.
If I was a betting man, I'd say Stefanski would stay around. He looks miserable. I understand that, but he's been dealt a tough hand. Another one, I would say Dennis Allen is probably the next most likely of the New Orleans Saints to be fired.
Agreed.
So Dennis Allen, Jacksonville spot. So you're going to have New Orleans, who's in a terrible cap situation, Jacksonville, and the Jets. Now the elephant in the room, the Dallas Cowboys.
Yes. I was hoping you were going here next.
Now, the Mike McCarthy, the problem is Jerry Jones is very loyal, and he likes his guys. He likes when people play to Jerry's rules, why change anything? Team's making money. We're always in the mix. We're going to get 100 primetime games, and he listens to me. So why would I change things? Now, ultimately, I think that the Cowboys keep losing. You're going to have some conversations, some tough ones. If I was a betting man, I'd say McCarthy would be out, but I could be wrong. I wouldn't be surprised if they kept him around.
Yeah, with how Jerry operates, and I feel like Jerry
likes his puppets.
I said how about this? Yes men.
Yeah.
And McCarthy is a yes man now. I don't think, say the Cowboys make the playoffs and they completely capitulate like they've had the last 2 years. Like the Dak Prescott not getting the spike off in time, getting embarrassed by, I know Jordan Love, Colin wasn't a rookie quarterback, but I personally considered him a rookie quarterback last year with his first, time being a starter under his belt. Like that was embarrassing stuff. Pending things going to catastrophic level again in the playoffs, I think McCarthy is back as well.
Well, that's it. I think if they make the playoffs, I think he's safe.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I do.
I think that's another layer. Can I add another layer? They make the playoffs. They win the division. I as you know, I'm not sold on the Commanders quite yet. If they win the division and go to the playoffs and lose at home, he still survives?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I bring up another team in the same division?
Okay.
The Eagles.
I think Sirianni, if he's getting fired, it would be because of Sirianni's antics or everybody's on the last leg with Sirianni's antics.
I think we're there. Are we not there?
Winning heals all, and they haven't won clean, but they're 4-2.
Like, we're hypothetically speaking, like theoretically speaking here, no pun intended. Let's say the Eagles do what the Cowboys do. Let's say the Eagles win the division, play a home playoff game. They lose, and all hell breaks loose with Sirianni.
I also think Philadelphia is in a position there where they have somebody in-house that could step up and replace Sirianni pretty quickly on either side. Fangio, I know, wasn't a great head coach, but he has experience, and Kellen Moore has always been somebody who's been floated as a head coach for a number of years now.
Lastly, are there any, I hate to even say this because this never happens, but any quick owners to be like, hey, after 1 year, I know this guy isn't it?
No.
The Panthers are horrible. The Titans
Panthers is the only option.
Okay.
New England. Callahan is staying around. Mayo is definitely staying around.
Okay.
I would say, I do you disagree with any of these?
I don't, but
it's just not fair.
And the only one, maybe you'll agree with me on this. The only one I could see is Carolina because of the owner.
That's the only one.
The owner worries you. The owner worries you.
Yeah, that is the only one. I think but think about the bad teams in the league. Dable's safe. The Giants are 2-5. Antonio Pierce, unless Brady has something to say, Pierce is hanging around. Mm-hmm. And then you shift to Tennessee. Tennessee's at 1-5, but they just hired him. So he's hanging around.
They got and remember with Tennessee quickly, they got rid of Mike Vrabel. And Vrabel was a very established coach, and I was very surprised when he got the boot.
That leads you into who is going to replace these people. Of course, Ben Johnson will be the first offensive coordinator in the league that is called. But you also have Bill Belichick waiting on the on the burner right there, and Mike Vrabel, the aforementioned Mike Vrabel, right there as well. So those are two guys I think for a big job would be the first calls ahead of somebody like Ben Johnson. I think Vrabel or Belichick would be called before Ben Johnson would if the Cowboy or Eagle job was open. As for the Jacksonville or the Jet job, I think you go the coordinators get called. So do you agree with that?
Agreed.
So that's a situation. All of a sudden, there's only one or two spots that are really open for head coaches to slot into. Jacksonville, the Jets. I'm going to assume one of the Cowboys or the Eagles, and New Orleans.
And then, I don't see the coaches getting fired. And Colin, I apologize if this is the point you were trying to make there. I don't see Sirianni getting a Jet job. I don't see a Doug Peterson getting. Do you agree with that?
Oh, no. They're not getting new jobs. Yeah. It's a thing where they take a year off.
Yeah, year off.
But
and then
I'm talking about the replacements. The guys who have had
that's
a year
right.
off.
Belichick is very.
Yeah, Belichick and Vrabel are sitting right there. They're slotted in.
Belichick is doing the media tour right now as well and trying to make himself look as good as possible. Bill's doing commercials now.
I can't stand that.
Colin, Bill's doing commercials
Belichick didn't give the media anything.
I love Bill.
For 25 years.
I can't lie, Colin.
He didn't give anything to the media. Oh, high and mighty, I am above the media. The media does not own anything. And all of a sudden, he's doing, Target spots with the Mannings. I can't deal with it. It's a little much. Criticizing everything that Jared Mayo does, dude. Give it a rest. You've never called your team. You never called your team soft.
He's bitter.
Yeah, you had an ugly exit, and now you're taking it out on Mayo. Jeez, that's a little stupid. I don't even think Mayo said the right thing there with calling the team soft. But to act like Mayo condemned him to death is another thing.
Can I set up a situation for you real quick?
Okay.
Remember what happened with Belichick and the Jets? Remember that situation where he was supposed to go to the Jets and be the head coach of the Jets rather when Parcells. How about the son goes back to where he should have went, the New York Jets. There's one guy who could fix the Jets, Colin, in New York football, and that is Bill Belichick.
Yeah, I'd be surprised. I don't know, maybe. But those two are going to be the first calls, Vrabel and Belichick, and then you get the Ben Johnsons of the world who are going to take that next spot. There's not a lot of coaching.
No, what do you mean? Colin, Mike Vrabel is going to take Ryan Day's job when Day loses 3 games this year.
I don't think he wants anything to do with college
or NIL. I don't blame him.
I don't think he wants anything
I was trying to have fun there, him Vrabel being an Ohio State guy, but wouldn't that be something?
Yeah,
Vrabel goes to college.
He just doesn't want to deal with it. Who does?
No one. That's why Day still has a job.
So I think if I was a betting man and I had to put money somewhere, I would say Stefanski would be safe at the moment. Stefanski would be safe. I would say one of the Cowboys or Eagles would be safe because both of them are not going to be terrible. If I had to guess, I would say McCarthy out, Sirianni stay. And I think New Orleans, Dennis Allen is a dead man walking. I think Peterson's a dead man walking. And, of course, the Jets opening. So that's only 3, maybe 4 spots.
Mm-hmm. What do we have, 6, 7?
We had 7 last year.
7 new head coaches this year?
And that's usually the case. It's usually 5 to 7 every year. And so that's going to be interesting. With 2 great coaches on the barn burner like that, just waiting. Great. One great, and then one was a good coach in Vrabel and Belichick just waiting there. And then you already got one who's basically a head coach in Detroit. Go to the phone lines, 888-760-3776. The number to get into the program, 888-760-3776. We go to stay in West Palm. We go to Ryan. Ryan, what's going on? What's in your mind?
Young Russo. First, I have to say, Rizzo, I was glad to see you back to normal because you had a bad day yesterday, bro, with these quarterback takes. but you're back to normal today, which is nice. But
what's on your mind?
What about McVay leaving LA if they just absolutely tank and go in the garbage?
Leaving LA or fired?
There were rumors. No, they would never fire him. Leaving LA. If he left LA, that would open up a spot.
Where would he go? Yeah, is he going somewhere else?
TV.
Well, to his point, there were rumors after they won the Super Bowl. Ryan, thanks for bringing that back up. I totally forgot about that. There were rumors after the Super Bowl that McVay was going to step down. Remember, Donald was going to retire. Stafford was going to retire. And I
don't buy. He is such a he's going to be great in the media one day, but he is such a hyper-focused elite head coach. Maybe he doesn't want to deal with it, but I can't say that until nobody knows what McVay's thinking. But they're not getting rid of him. But Ryan, we're only thinking that we only got 3-4 spots here that are going to be available for that head coaching spot. I'd be surprised if McVay walked away. Would you?
I mean, have you seen his wife? I'd walk away too. Real quick, what if Drake May is an absolute stud, which is looking like, and then Mayo loses the locker room with this soft talk, and they just lose out the rest of the season? I mean, could you see the Patriots pulling a trigger and saying,
"Yeah, maybe it's a little unlike," but that would be a locker room thing rather than a coaching performance.
I don't see Robert Kraft doing that either. Do you agree?
Well, I mean, he doesn't have much life left, him and Jerry. They got to go for it now while they can.
One last thing before we let you go here. Cowboys or Eagles, which head coach will survive, or either of them, or none of them?
No, Sirianni's done. The guy shaved his head. He's lost his mind. He's fighting with the people in the stands. Yeah. He's done.
We're already there. Colin, I thought I'm with Ryan. We're already there with Sirianni.
Appreciate the call, Ryan in West Palm. I don't know. I'm on the team of winning heals all, and I think he's a strange person. He's always been a strange person. So I don't know. Unless it goes, I know they were considering it last year. Unless something goes really awry, if they have a winning record again, I'd be surprised if they let him go.
Maybe the players have had enough too.
Maybe
Hurts is finally just like, the owner's going to side with the franchise quarterback, in my opinion, and maybe Hurts.
Well, they're going to side with Roseman too, because Roseman's a great general manager.
Have you guys seen Sean McVay's wife? I did not.
Yeah, she's unbelievable.
Until right now.
Or excuse me, she's very pretty.
On YouTube right now, you can check her out. I mean, or check what she looks like out. I didn't mean to put it that way.
Have you heard McVay talk? He has every piece of his life inputted in a file cabinet, just ready to be accessed. I can't see that guy sitting down at 38 years of age with his feet up. I understand she's there, but
boys, this was always a topic of conversation on old shows for us.
He's too hyper-focused.
Why is he coaching football?
He is too hyper-focused to go elsewhere. He's going to have a great media career when he's all said and done. But I think that would be early for him to do that. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's just over it, over the cycle. But I'd have a hard time really seeing him walking away for less money, for out of LA. I know he loves that, the LA vibe and everything. I'd have a hard time seeing him walk away from that. I don't know.
She's gorgeous.
Would you walk away from that?
I've never saw his wife until he forced me to look it up. Thank you so much, Ryan from West Palm Beach, for introducing me. You know what? Anything on the table?
C-Cat, I hope your girlfriend isn't listening, man. You're okay.
She doesn't like you guys.
Does she listen to Theoretically Speaking?
Sure does.
Why
4 to 6.
Why doesn't she like us?
Listen, you have a 26-year-old female. It's hard to get her to listen to 4 hours of radio a day. So she settles for 2, and the 2 that I'm producer and a semi-co-host
You're only producer on ours for 1 hour. The second hour, and this is the first hour. We'll chat with you at 5 o'clock.
Tina comes in here, calls us crazy, and then C-Cat just says out of the blue, "Yeah, my girlfriend hates you guys."
Just like us. We got to have her on. 888-760.
What are we doing here?
888-760-3776. C-Cat's girlfriend despises the program. C-Cat is not involved in the program until 5 o'clock. We'll give some punchline picks. We got a couple we got to send her out. I know C-Cat and Theo, punchline picks, for those who don't know, is when Theoretically Speaking, which you can hear 2 to 4 on these very airwaves, go against us, Mike and I, as a group, 6 picks versus 6 picks against the spread. Keyword, against the spread. We take 6 a week between the college and the NFL. We're tracking. We're tied this week. So they had they got their lock and ended up stealing that week last week. So we're tied. And this is going to be a big week. So this is going to be big picks that we're going to have to make next. Punchline picks. Stick around. It's Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Tired of being sidelined by a sports injury? Get back in the game with Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Whether you're a professional athlete or even a weekend warrior, you can get back to doing what you love with our compassionate orthopedic team. Experience a new level of care and get back to your best. Welcome to being treated like a pro. Make an appointment today at baptisthealth.net/ortho or call 833-556-6764.
VIP experiences await at South Florida's only PGA Tour event. The Cognizant Classic in the Palm Beaches is upping the golf game February 27th through March 2nd with new luxury hospitality venues. Host colleagues and clients at the Shoreline Suites. Mingle with friends and family in the 1909 Terrace. Or treat yourself to the ultimate VIP week at the Yellow Flamingo Club. Limited spots remain. Inquire now at thecognizantclassic.com.
Hey, it's Josh Cohen. When you need auto repair, honesty and reliability are everything. Trust the home for honest, reliable service since 1970. St. Lucie Battery and Tire. St. Lucie Battery and Tire has all the tire and battery brands in stock for cars, trucks, RVs, marine, power sports, golf carts, everything. Major and minor service repairs, free tire pressure, battery checks. St. Lucie Battery and Tire, over 50 years in our community. And now with 18 full-service locations, West Palm to the Treasure Coast. Go to slbt.com. That's slbt.com.
Mark your calendars and gear up for game day. This Sunday, October 27th, join Bud Light and the ESPN West Palm Street Team at Recovery Sports Bar in Port St. Lucie. Catch the action as the Cardinals face off against the Miami Dolphins from 2 to 4 p.m. Showcase your football skills for a chance to qualify for Dolphins tickets. Enjoy $20 Bud Light buckets while you cheer on the Fins. Must be 21 or older to participate. Southern Eagle reminds you to please drink responsibly.
Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. Prize Picks is the only real money daily fantasy platform with an injury insurance policy, so your lineups stay in play even if one of your players gets injured. If your player leaves in the first half and doesn't return, Prize Picks keeps your lineup live. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks is the best way to win real money this football season. Which players are going off? Which ones aren't? Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your sports opinions into real money all season long on Prize Picks. Download the app today and use code THEOD to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup.
Time now for a PNC pause. PNC Bank is committed to helping the customers and the communities they serve move forward financially. See how they can make a difference for you at PNC.com.
I know you be hearing this and that from here and there, but please trust and believe.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Time to give our punchline picks. We'll blitz the book presented by Hard Rock Bet in a moment. It's Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3. Russo, Mike Rizzo, Christian Cat behind glass. Punchline picks is when we compete against, theoretically speaking, Theo Dorsey and Christian Cat. Picks against the spread, 6 per week, 1 lock worth 2. We've been hot in college. They've been okay in the NFL, and it seems like that we've leaned one side. Mike and I lean the college route, while Christian Cat and Theo Dorsey lean the NFL, which I'm surprised about. I think Vegas knows the NFL more than they know college. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Let's blitz the book, presented by Hard Rock Bet.
Send some heat. Pin your ears back. It's time to blitz the book. Presented by Hard Rock Bet.
Time to blitz the book, presented by Hard Rock Bet, Florida's official sports book. For the first time ever in Florida, bet on the NFL all season long. Try out Hard Rock Bet now and receive up to $100 back in bonus bets if that first bet does not win. It's offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling, call 1-888-ADMIT-IT. All right, Mike, so we got some stuff to figure out here.
Yeah, we got some work to do. We got some work to do for sure.
We're going to workshop this live. So
here, Colin, the games we have as of now: BYU plus 2.5, Syracuse plus 5.5, and our Service Academy, baby.
Well,
Navy.
We were actually going to take Miami as well. I like that pick. And but C-Cat and Theo are taking that. I don't believe in taking the same pick as them, so we're getting rid of that.
You want to hear our 6 picks first? Just
I think
in
we
general,
saw.
talking to the
Enlighten
audience.
us. Enlighten the audience.
I would love to enlighten the audience on the theoretically speaking punchline picks. So, as you mentioned, a lot of NFL, not a lot of college. We're with the Rams tonight as our lock, +3. Bengals -3. Panthers +10. Cowboys +4. Dolphins -3.5. And our lone college game is the University of Miami -21.5.
Yeah, I like the Miami pick.
Did. Can't lie, we liked it.
I think that Miami pick is going to be, that's a tricky game. I really do.
Shame on Florida State for being so dreadful.
Yeah.
I mean, honest to God.
I don't hate that Rams pick, but that Viking team travels and they're good, so I'm not sure how they're going to deploy that. I think the Rams could play well, but they could lose that.
It's a massive pros versus Joe game, and you don't get too many of them where an overwhelming percentage of the public is on one side, and then the overwhelming amount of dollars is on the other side. The dollars are on the Rams, so I'm just deciding to follow suit.
I didn't know that. Interesting. All right. So you guys get the Rams. That Bengal pick I didn't hate either. The Panthers is where up and down. I don't know.
It's gross. Why am I choosing to watch that game?
Right. All right. Flipping to our side, BYU is at UCF. And BYU was +2.5. They're now +2. UCF has lost their last 2 home games. BYU is 7-0, needing to stay undefeated to stay in that race alongside Iowa State. They really have an easy path. All they got to do is continue to convert. UCF is coming off a really tight game last week against Iowa State. Maybe they run out of gas there. That's my theme there. And then, of course, BYU played Oklahoma State last Friday night, and they had a terrific final drive with 1.5 minutes to go to win that game. I like this one.
I do too. Someone has to win this Big 12. I think it's either going to be Iowa State or BYU. I think BYU stays undefeated as well. I'm not sold on Gus Malzahn and the UCF guys. UCF was supposed to have like this magical year, and it just hasn't happened.
Yeah,
I'm not buying into
I'm surprised they're favored in this one. They lost their last 2 home games to Cincinnati at home and then to Colorado at home. They got killed. So I'm not in on UCF. That came out of nowhere last year.
And Retzlaff's our guy.
Have you seen how he's branded himself? I don't know if I can even say it on air.
No, I have not seen it.
It's the fact that he is a Jewish quarterback.
I did not know that.
He's one of 3 Jewish students at BYU. And he's the quarterback leading the football team. Can I say it?
Yeah, you can, because he named himself this, and it's awesome. He's going to make a lot of money on merchandise.
Yeah, BY Jew is what he calls himself, which I think is crazy. Crazy.
That's awesome. That's self-aware. That's funny. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
We're good. Hey,
just making sure I can say
we're good. We're good.
Yeah. Well, that's what he named himself. That's what he said. There's T-shirts at the Mormon game amongst the Mormon fans.
All right.
With that slogan on it. That's crazy. That's awesome.
I probably would have steered cleared, but
hey,
that's our guy.
That's not my Jake Retzlaff. I love it.
Guy.
Lead them, Jake.
Honestly,
lead them.
That's our guy.
Lead them.
And Colin, Navy and the troops, those are our guys as well, man.
Okay, I don't love this pick.
Really?
Notre Dame always kills them. So, but plus 13.5 is a lot of points. I like it. No, we're taking it. I'm rooting for our troops. But I have an inkling that Notre Dame might come out. And
we don't have Army to bail us out this week either. What are we, 4-0 on Army?
Yeah, well, they're undefeated against the spread. So we're taking BYU. We're taking Navy. Well, another game I like tonight, Syracuse at Pitt, which is tonight, actually, a Thursday night game in the ACC. Pitt is undefeated. They haven't played anybody. They're 6-0. Syracuse sitting at 5-1. Syracuse get 5.5 points in this game.
Yeah, and McCord has been playing pretty well, the former Ohio State quarterback.
Yeah, they've been solid, and they're both coming off a bye here. Pitt is coming off an escape game against Cal Berkeley. They played North Carolina fairly close. They escaped West Virginia. They played Cincinnati super close. This is not that great of a team for being 6-0. I think they're due for a loss here, and I think it'll come tonight, but within 5.5.
Kyle McCord, by the way, 5 straight games of throwing over 300 yards. 381, 339, 385, 355, 346. He's going to be slinging it
True
tonight.
Freshman quarterback for Pitt, Eli Holstein. So if I had to bet, I said that Syracuse would be a good pick. I'm down to make this the lock too, but
okay.
I maybe
either BYU or Cuse. Agreed?
Yeah,
one of those two.
Yes. Navy plus 13.5 without saying. God bless our troops. Take down Notre Dame for everybody. If you love Notre Dame, you either went there or that's it. That's the only reason you could like Notre Dame. Everybody else has got to root for them.
Or you're Irish.
I'm Irish.
You don't root for Notre Dame?
My sister went there.
Exactly.
No.
It's in the bloodline.
I hate Notre Dame.
We hate Notre Dame. Yeah. Colin
Notre Dame is we are Notre Dame
Notre
and you're not. Michigan has the same thing. We're Michigan and you're not. I hate that. So that Navy plus 13.5. They have the number 4 scoring offense. They're like 23 for 23 in the red zone all year long, which is crazy.
Now, Colin, we need 3 more games now that Miami is not.
Yeah, Miami's out. So we like
out.
Navy. We need to take a MAC pick. So we had
and
a couple options.
I handed the reins to you on this because I'm 0-2 in my last 2 MAC picks.
So I like 2. Toledo home against Bowling Green is -2.5. Or Ball State home against Northern Illinois. Ball State is getting 12 points at home.
I'm starting to think Toledo's the best team in this conference.
But it's the MAC. I mean, you could have taken them last week, and Toledo, it was a stinker game against Northern Illinois. They escaped, but still. And they lost by 2 touchdowns week before to Buffalo. Buffalo, Bowling Green here, coming off a win against Kent State, played the worst team in the conference. Does Toledo just need to win here? I'm down to take that one. You want to take Toledo?
Let's do Toledo. I trust them more than Ball State.
All right.
Ball State 1-2 in the conference, 2-5 on the year.
We're taking Toledo -2.5. Now, we could go a couple different directions here. Let's shift to the NFL side of things. Let's knock out our NFL pick. So some of the lines that I'm seeing, at least, that, I mean, relatively look attractive. On Hard Rock Bet, you go check it out there. The Atlanta one is a little tricky. Tampa Bay's +2.5 at home against Atlanta. Atlanta already beat them. I wouldn't hate taking Tampa Bay there despite all the injuries. But maybe they roll over and die. Maybe I don't want to bet on that.
No Mike Evans. No
Godwin.
Godwin.
New England's getting +7 at home against the Jets. Coming out of London,
How about this? Does Seattle win outright? 405.
We can't take that. What do you mean?
I mean,
we have to take it against the spread. You take the +3.
That's what I mean. Do they win? I think Seattle could win that game. That's a tough game to do, going across country for the Bills like that.
Yeah.
And are the Bills riding a high after beating the Titans 34-10? They've won 2 games in a row. They won at New York, which is a stinker of a game.
Yeah, Seattle played great last week at Atlanta. I don't love it, but I don't hate it.
We take Seattle +3. That's, Colin, honest to God, partner, that's one of the only games I like on this.
What about the Chargers -7?
No. I went to the Chargers. Didn't they burn us last week? They lost.
Did we take the Chargers last week? I don't think we did, no.
I think they were in the conversation for us to take, and they lost.
The thing is, they take 9 NFL picks, and we can't take any of them.
Trust me, I know. That's why I'm Seattle. I like the Bears -3 personally.
What about the Steelers -6 against the Giants at home Monday Night Football?
Russell Wilson.
I don't hate this one.
Did Tomlin lose the locker room?
No.
Okay.
No.
I'm down. All right. I'm down with either the Steelers, the Bears, or the Seahawks.
You want to take the Bears to win on the road?
I don't really.
Is that what your gut says off the bye? They're going to do that?
I know you yell at me for this, but I don't buy the Commanders.
All right, they're challenged again. Do you want to go with Chicago? I think the Steelers.
Right,
I don't like the -6 though.
Let's go Pittsburgh then. If you're confident about, I'm not confident about any of these, so we could go with the Steelers.
Steelers 6-2. How about that?
Steelers are a good pick.
Yeah.
I don't want to make your picks for you, but I'm looking at the numbers right now. Since 2000, Pittsburgh's 13-1 at home on Monday Night Football.
You don't want to look at the Bears as a road favorite either.
You like looking at these trends. I guess that's what Fat Jack uses too. I don't know. That is an interesting statistic, so I guess that's good we took that before we even knew that. I didn't know that. So Toledo -2.5, Steelers -6. We have one more college pick. We talked about Mizzou, but I don't know if I want to take that anymore. I'm down to take. This is tricky. So let's go through some of these games here.
Do I have an emotional bet?
Ohio State?
25.5 at home?
No.
I think they win.
They might win by 50 points, but
I think they win by 50 after losing to Oregon.
What if last week was that look-ahead game for Nebraska? Nebraska plays really tough.
This is a look-ahead game for the Buckeyes who have Penn State next week. Isn't it Penn State week?
Every team has a look-ahead week.
It's Penn State week next week,
Every team
right?
has a look-ahead week.
Yeah. All right.
I don't think that Wisconsin one is a. You want to take Ohio State again?
No, it's okay.
I don't know if I need to do that.
It's okay.
Iowa -14 against Northwestern at home.
Didn't they cover for us, though?
Who?
The Buckeyes. They covered for us against Iowa.
Yes.
Okay, it's all right. We don't have to take them. Say that again.
Iowa home against Northwestern this week.
Those are two terrible football teams.
Hold on. I know. Iowa's 4-3, but Northwestern is terrible. I don't know. I don't love that either. I don't love taking a Big Ten team.
What about the Fighting Illini on the road, plus 22?
You're so high on them. I don't know why you're so high on them.
I covered them for 3 years, Colin.
I don't know why
I covered them for 3 years, man. You can't take the Central Illinois out of me.
You want to root for LSU again?
I told you I like that LSU pick. I said LSU outright to win at A&M.
Well, they're plus one.
Love it. All right. We didn't take
last
them
time I
week.
rooted for LSU, I lost years off my life, and they escaped that Ole Miss game, but let's do it again.
Yeah, and remember, we wanted to take them last week.
That's our pick. LSU plus 1. We did not want to take them last week. We should have.
I did.
Yeah, we should have.
Sorry.
What'd you take? You want to ride a parade? How many picks did you pick that we got off of the Brick City Bowl? I never want to hear that again. The Brick City Bowl. Nobody likes the Brick City Bowl.
No, it's
between
not
Ohio, you, and Miami of Ohio.
It's the battle of the bricks, and yes, my
nobody
Bobcats.
cares. Nobody cares.
My Bobcats failed
Nobody cares.
miserably.
Nobody cares. A god-awful game and a godforsaken 2 programs.
Come on, man.
They
Hey,
got killed in that pick.
Ohio football has been good for 2 decades. You
All
watch
right.
your mouth.
Art, Lock. Let's take Jake Retzlaff.
You want BYU? I do too. That's our guy.
Let's do it.
That's our guy.
All right. Jake Retzlaff, BYU, plus 2.5 at UCF. Those are our punchline picks. That's our Blitz the Book presented by Hard Rock. Bet we'll invite CCAT into the program and do a little 5 at 5 next. Stick around. It's Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
Anajar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 106.3.
WUUB Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
FX's English teacher. Every single one of these essays is so bad.
An F? What is this?
With grades like this, I'm gonna have to hit the corner, sir.
From executive producers of What We Do in the Shadows.
Who's running the school? Is it us or is it them? Them.
Go sit next to Tiffany.
She told me it was offensive to learn Mandarin because you're not Japanese.
FX's English teacher is now streaming on Hulu. All new Mondays on FX.
At the Home Depot, we know Saturdays are for college football. That's why we have everything you need to never miss a play. Like North America's #1 home fire safety brand, Kidda. Because on a day full of football sounds you love, like fight songs, roaring crowds, and your favorite commentators...
Like me, Kirk Herbstreit.
The last sound you want to hear is... Defend your game time with Kidda and the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Based on total household installations as of December 2023.
When it comes to choosing a health plan, you can trust the members who have experienced it firsthand. Humana is proud to offer a Medicare Advantage plan in Florida that earned 5 out of 5 stars. 5 stars is the highest rating possible. It's based on real members' experiences, and it's decided by the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. Our Humana Gold Plus HMO earned 5 out of 5 stars. That means a few things. It means members get outstanding customer service. It means we connect them with excellent preventive care and chronic condition support. Most of all, it means you have a trustworthy option for a Medicare Advantage plan. Explore our 5-star Humana Gold Plus HMO at humana5star.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Every year, Medicare evaluates plans based on a 5-star rating system. Humana is a Medicare Advantage HMO organization with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
Did you know that Wendy's has any size soft drinks for just $1? Yeah, any size, anytime. Like $1 Coke, $1 Sprite, or even $1 strawberry Fanta. Okay, could we maybe switch up the sound effect, please? 'Cause I'm losing it. Wow, no, not that. Any size soft drink for just $1? Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. A la carte only. Not valid in a combo. Exclusions apply.
Calling all sports fans, grab your MVP card and head to Duffy's where you can catch all of the action. Not an MVP? Sign up for free and start earning rewards today. Duffy's is voted the best sports grill year after year with their award-winning burgers and wings. Don't forget about Duffy's famous 2-for-1 drinks all day, every day. And with over 80 TVs in every location, you'll never miss a minute of the game. Visit Duffy'sMVP.com to learn more. Duffy's, our game is always on.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated. Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Hurricane fans, get ready for one of the biggest rivalries in college football. On October 26th, it's the Miami Hurricanes and the Florida State Seminoles at Hard Rock Stadium. It's an orange out, wear orange, and bring the noise in a game you don't want to miss. The Canes and Noles, October 26th. Tickets are going fast, so secure yours now by visiting MiamiHurricanes.com or by calling 1-800-GO-CANES.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
ESPN 106.3 is presented by Rubenstein Law. 1-800-FL-LEGAL. Car accident, truck accident, Uber or Lyft accident, or a slip and fall. Call Rubenstein Law. Call 1-800-FL-LEGAL and visit one of our offices throughout Florida.
Tired of being sidelined by a sports injury? Get back in the game with Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Whether you're a professional athlete or even a weekend warrior, you can get back to doing what you love with our compassionate orthopedic team. Experience a new level of care and get back to your best. Welcome to being treated like a pro. Make an appointment today at baptisthealth.net/ortho or call 833-556-6764.
Now, it's time for a little R&R.
All into the bucket, lays it up and in.
Ball game, Rizzo!
Live in the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, this is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
This team is going to be tough when they finally get it together.
Sit back and relax. Let Russo and Rizzo take you home.
Oh, mercy! Light him up, Colin!
A Thursday edition of Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3 live at the City Place Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, Christian Cat, of course, behind the glass. It's Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3. World Series first pitch tomorrow in LA. Yankees Dodgers. That should be a fun one. Garrett Cole versus Jack Flaherty on the mound. You got some Thursday night football action tonight with Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp back healthy for the Rams. They take on the Minnesota Vikings, who are coming off their first loss of the season on Sunday against the Detroit Lions. You got Syracuse Pitt tonight, an ACC showdown between the undefeated Pitt Panthers, who are, we just bet to lose in our punchline picks presented by Hard Rock Bet, plus 5.5 Syracuse. We like that one. But should be a fun week of sports. Plenty to do, plenty to talk about. We'll get to the phone lines first. 888-760-3776. The number to get into the program, 888-760-3776. You want to welcome your boy in?
Mikey T in Peoria. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great, Riz. How about yourself?
I'm good, man. Miss you. Is Jimmy all right? Is Happy all right? Everything all right there in Peoria?
Oh, my God. You got to get Jim's head out of the clouds right now. Illinois football. He thinks, oh my God.
I wanted to take Mikey.
Mikey,
I don't know if you were listening. I wanted to take him. Plus 22. It's a lock, right?
I don't think so.
No? Okay.
I agree.
I did want to ask you, Riz, what do you think? Who's going to be the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns in 2025?
Yeah. How we Mikey, you know I wasn't a fan of Watson. You know, I complained about him to Kingdom Come for 3 years out there with you. But I think it's going to be Cam Ward. I think the Browns draft Cam Ward. I think Shedeur Sanders won't be available because Deion's not going to let Shedeur Sanders go to the Browns because of the state of the organization. And if I know Paul DePodesta, if I know Andrew Berry, who actually I think are pretty sharp guys, not so much DePodesta, but Berry, I think Andrew Berry is going to take Cam Ward with a high draft pick.
Okay, that's a thought. I was thinking more, and I know you're going to just lie. I called as much to hear your reaction. I think that they're going to sign a free agent.
Who?
And I think the free agent they're going to sign is going to be one Justin Fields.
Oh God, you're Mike. You're putting that on me. You heard us complain about him for 3 years, and now Justin Fields is coming to the Browns. Oh God.
I couldn't help myself, man. I just couldn't.
It's okay. Hey, who knows? Maybe the third time's a charm, right? I wouldn't hold my breath, though.
Hey, you know what? 4-2 start wasn't the worst in the world.
Yeah. Mikey, I hope. I hope you're good, brother. I give Hap and Jimmy my best, and keep Jim's head in the clouds for with the Illini football, because I was sick of hearing him say he's going to be dead the next time the Illini win the Big Ten. All right.
Hey, you guys have a great show. I love listening to it, and good catching up with you, Riz.
Thanks, Mike T. Appreciate you, partner.
Appreciate the call, Mike. Good call. He's in on getting Justin Fields in there.
So that's a joke, because Jim and I would complain that Fields isn't the answer at quarterback, and we would be going toe-to-toe against people who wanted Justin Fields and didn't want the number one pick. They hated Caleb Williams. It was a whole thing there. It was a whole thing.
Is he pro Justin Fields or
no? Mike.
He's just screwing with you.
Mike, nonetheless, Mike didn't. It was just more of he knew.
He was just messy. He was messy.
Exactly.
All righty.
Exactly.
Good call by Mike.
But how about that though? Cam, I do think Cam Ward, it could be a serious contender for the Browns.
Yeah, it depends who else is in the quarterback market come draft time.
Because I think this team is probably. I don't want to say it because I think it can't. Tennessee's awful. Carolina is awful, but I think the Browns might have the number one pick, boys.
I don't know. I think they'll play pretty well here without Deshaun Watson in the mix.
I know they just traded Amari Cooper, but how different is this year's team from last year's team who had Joe Flacco, a quarterback, lead them to the playoffs?
It's different because what's this show about? Theme, magic, mojo.
Well, the mojo just tore his Achilles.
And also, Stefanski, his kind of quarterback. Watson was never Stefanski's quarterback. Like, that's not who Kevin wants as a quarterback. Like, his style of play. He likes the Joe Flaccos. He likes the healthy Baker Mayfields. That's who he has success with. It reminds me a little bit of that Kevin O'Connell. Look what he's doing with Sam Darnold.
But he just tore his Achilles.
Who?
Watson. So now you don't have to deal with him.
It's too far. Colin, they're too far gone.
The infection reached
but
the whole team.
It's too far gone.
Stealing a couple games here and there, I don't think it's out of the question.
You already traded like your best weapon on offense. Like, read the room, brother.
Well, Nick Chubb.
They give it
I
up.
agree, but I don't think they're as
Chubb,
bad.
I don't think Chubb. I love Nick Chubb. But
what we're all on the same page is talent-wise and coaching-wise, they are not in as bad of a position as some of those teams that are going to be fighting for that number one spot. Would you agree or disagree with that?
I think with the current state of the team and just how Colin, you got players fighting with. Hang on though.
That's salary cap. I'm talking about on the field.
No. I'm talking on the field as well. You have the players hate the fans right now. Like, the fans hate the team. The fans hate the owner. That is the most toxic. Listen to my father for 1 hour. And you'll never want to hear Cleveland. Listen to the shows they have to do in Cleveland.
How much can you attribute this to what's going on with Deshaun Watson?
I think it's everything. So
that's everything. Now he's out.
It's everything. But the damage is done.
I agree.
The damage is done.
But I don't think it's out of question to say that the Cleveland Browns all of a sudden might play a lot better here.
The players hate the team. The fans hate the team. The fans hate the owner. I think you have a head coach who has to be hush-hush about everything and has to be a yes-man guy who never wanted Deshaun Watson in the first place.
But you keep bringing up Deshaun Watson. He is out of the building for the foreseeable future.
I keep bringing him up because, dude, brother, the damage is done. It doesn't matter what happened.
I understand they're not going to make the playoffs, but number one overall pick, they need to lose every other game the rest of the year.
Winning cures all, too. I think if they win on Sunday,
all of a sudden everybody's cheering.
Exactly. It's like, wow, a new lease on life. watch out for the Cleveland Browns to sneak into the playoffs.
Because then all of a sudden Stefanski's all happy
all
because he got a new
fans
quarterback.
are like me. I want to lose every game here on out. I don't want them to win a single game.
Yeah, but you think about the fans, but the coaches don't want to do that. And
Of course
the
not.
players don't want to do that either. Watch them play pretty well. Not pretty well, but watch them win a couple games here. Do you agree with that, Seacat, or no?
Yeah, I think so. They had no business winning last year either. Like Joe Flacco, I love him to death. As a former Baltimore Raven legend, I love Joe Flacco. He had no business leading that team to the playoffs, and they kind of got exposed in the first round, but that still was a playoff team. That is not too different than this year.
That is a major tumor they got out of that locker room, for better or worse, with that injury in Deshaun Watson. I mean, all of a sudden, this is a big reset for them. They just changed play callers, like that will make difference, but Winston in there now. Winston can do it. One every 3 games, Winston is a capable quarterback.
Don't try to sell me on Jameis Winston.
You want to talk about a good locker room guy? It's Jameis Winston.
And people love playing for him. I'm not saying
Jameis Winston, the guy who screamed at the fans for yelling, for booing Deshaun Watson. Like this is the situation. The question these guys are getting in the guys
circling back to the fans. I'm talking about what's going to happen on the field.
I know because I know this city. And I know this team is going to go down.
the city and the fans. This is not about that.
Yes, it is.
This is about the team.
You guys
and the
are not familiar. You guys are not familiar with how these things work with this football team.
You're sensationalizing the people on the microphones and the people in the street. They're not in the locker room. It's the locker room who actually makes the decisions.
It's the coaches and the
questions they're getting asked in the locker room are fan-related issues, and the players are, I almost said a word there, yelling about the fans. And the fans are screaming. This situation stinks worse than a week-old tuna if it were to sit here in the studio.
I understand that point. That has nothing. I mean, sure, it might have some impact on the actual field, but what's without a doubt is the Browns have a better coaching staff and a better talent situation than the Titans, than the Panthers.
It's a brutal schedule, Colin. Have you seen their schedule?
But Mike, we're talking about winning 2 games.
Ravens, Chargers. Now, Chargers is a winnable game. At New Orleans, you're not winning that game. Home versus the Steelers.
New Orleans, they're not winning that game?
They're not winning that game. We never win in that awful dome. Never.
I don't think that's any sort of guarantee, but okay, continue.
Home versus the Steelers. At Denver, we never win. I think the only time we ever won at Denver was 3 years ago, 2019, Baker Mayfield.
You're talking about a god-awful franchise who hasn't won in years. That's a little different.
At Pittsburgh, Kansas City, at Cincinnati, home versus Miami could be the win. At the Ravens. The 2 wins I see on the schedule, the Dolphins and the Chargers.
So
they'll lose the rest.
You have them getting swept by everybody in the division?
They won't win a division game this year.
Yeah, they will.
Who are they going to beat?
I wouldn't be surprised to beat the Ravens this weekend.
Oh,
and I'm not even joking. It's a division game. Like the Ravens lose games they shouldn't all the time. They lost to the Raiders this year. The Browns win games.
I totally see that. Steelers are the same way. They just drop games. So watch them come out and play well, play harder all of a sudden. Deshaun Watson, maybe you're going to see that all of a sudden.
No.
Imagine us, Seacat and us are the
You need to
Browns,
talk to my old man.
The Browns optimists.
No, you need to talk to the old man because
get ready for the playoffs, Cleveland. You're headed there.
I'm not saying 1 or 2 games. I'm not talking about. They're not number 1 overall pick bad. They're not 1 overall pick bad.
I rather be I don't know what's worse. This situation that this organization is in, or when they were 1-31. At least when you were 1-31, you had 2 first-round draft picks. And you got Baker Mayfield, who turned around the franchise for 2 years, and Myles Garrett, one of the best players in the NFL.
But this situation, you're saying that they're headed to be 1-16.
The worst thing this team could do is win games, and it's terrible.
And they're capable of doing it.
And they're going to.
I cannot believe I'm saying that as a Brown fan. For the first time in my life, guys, I'm rooting for this team to lose every single game.
Because Jameis Winston's going to have a season that makes him the new Geno Smith. Similar in age, and he's going to get a contract to start for a team next year.
Jameis can win. There's no doubt in my mind that Jameis can win a couple games.
You guys rate Winston?
Because you've seen it. Yeah, he did it in New Orleans. He did it all the time in the Buccaneers. He could just slot in, and he'll be terrible one game, and the next game he'll turn it around.
But the Browns making the playoffs.
No, but you're acting like they're going to lose every game the rest of the schedule. That is not going to happen. That team is not lose every game bad.
So you think
the situation with Deshaun was a different situation. He's out.
You think Titans and Carolina
Panthers,
ahead.
worth situations. Yes,
I guarantee if you were
maybe not salary cap wise, but on the field.
Can I task you with something? Can you look at number 1 overall pick odds for me? I guarantee you the Browns. I guarantee you the Browns are first. I could almost.
You want to put something on that?
What are we putting on it? I could almost guarantee the Browns are first on that.
How about a Hard Rock bet? Free $5 parlay goes to one or the other.
Why am I doing this?
You're the one who said you want to put something on it.
How about this? I do 5 push-ups for Colin in studio.
And curl-ups.
What's a curl-up?
Sorry, sit-ups.
Okay, fine.
All right, good.
I'm fine with that.
Make it 10.
All right, do you have it there?
No, I didn't look it up yet.
Oh, okay. So we're going to find out the number 1 overall pick odds. The way I look at it is they have a better coaching staff. Better coaching staff means better team. And they have more talent. There's no doubt about that. So I know that offensively, they just got Chubb back, so maybe he does something there. And guess what? The biggest cancer, and maybe in the history of the NFL, is out of the locker room. God. In the history of the NFL.
God,
up there.
You're not wrong.
He's out.
You guys ever see Dodgeball, Steve the Pirate?
Yeah.
Gar. I mean, you're
He's
not
out.
wrong, dude.
He is out. We'll take a quick break. On the flip side of things, we'll do a little 5 at 5, talk a little NBA, and figure out what the odds are for the number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft. Stick around. Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys at 1-800-747-FREE, 1-800-747-FREE. Listen, if you were in an accident, car accident, truck accident, slip and fall, trip and fall, injured on the job, workers' comp issues, call Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. They will fight for you. They do not get paid unless you get paid, and they will fight to get you the maximum compensation that you know that you deserve. Do not deal with the insurance companies on your own. That's impossible. They make it as such. Anajar and Levine will help you to take back control of your life. Again, you'll always talk about your case with an actual attorney. They answer the phone 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to help you to take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE, 1-800-747-3733. Car accidents, truck accidents, slip and fall, trip and fall. Call Anajar and Levine, my accident attorneys. Anajar and Levine, accident attorneys. Take back control of your life.
Mornings. Nope, not my thing. But when I imagine a McDonald's breakfast in my hands, suddenly the snooze button is out of the picture. Now for a limited time, the 2 for $5 mix and match breakfast deal includes the sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddles, egg McMuffin, or the sausage McMuffin with egg. It's like a fist bump for breakfast that says, you've got this. It's time to gear up and seize the day. The breakfast hype is real. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Limited time only. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal. Single item at regular price.
Attention chicken lovers, we asked for it and McDonald's came through. Introducing the Chicken Big Mac. Treat yourself to the mouth-watering perfection of a Chicken Big Mac. 2 tender, juicy chicken patties sandwiched between a sesame seed bun, plus classic Big Mac sauce, tangy pickles, crisp lettuce, and a melty slice of American cheese. Hey chicken lovers, we did it. Order ahead in the McDonald's app and save 20% on orders over $10. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Offer valid through 12/31/24. Participating McDonald's. Valid once a day. Excludes tax. Must opt into rewards.
It's ESPN 106.3, your home for live sports presented by Hard Rock Bet. Home of the Miami Dolphins, Miami Hurricanes, and all of the biggest football matchups throughout the week. Hard Rock Bet, it's Florida's official sports book. Try Hard Rock Bet now and receive up to $100 back in bonus bets if your first bet does not win. Hard Rock Bet, roll with us. It's offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling, call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Batter up, swing, batter, batter, swing, batter, batter.
This one is for all the marbles. World Series week on ESPN 106.3 is presented by PNC Bank. PNC Bank is committed to making a difference in the lives of the customers they serve in the South Florida community. See how at PNC.com. World Series week on ESPN 106.3 is also presented by Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning, Hard Rock Bet, the Boca Raton Bowl, Roger Dean Chevrolet Stadium, and Twin Peaks.
Theo here. EDS is yes. You've heard me say that over and over. So I need you to keep this website in mind too. EDSIsYes.com. For the most trusted AC specialist here in Palm Beach County, EDSIsYes.com. For 24/7 support, EDS is a trained comfort specialist. It's hard to stop a train. There are so many reasons why EDS is yes when it comes to your air conditioning and plumbing. EDSIsYes.com. That's EDSIsYes.com.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Rolling on here, Russo and Rizzo live here, ESPN 106. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, Christian Cat. 5 push-ups, 5 sit-ups on the line on who has the highest odds to get the number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft in 2025. Mike was dead set on the Cleveland Browns having the highest odds. I said otherwise. I didn't have a team in mind, but I would have guessed the Panthers or the Patriots. But C-Cat has an answer for us. C-Cat, what say you?
With odds of plus 220 and plus 230. Those were our top 2 shortest odds.
How about that?
To have the worst record in the NFL in 2024 currently. So the difference is just plus 10. The shortest odds to have the number 1 overall pick in the 2025 NFL draft goes to the New England Patriots.
Wow.
Drop and give me 10, Riz.
Give me 15.
By the skin of your teeth.
I'm not surprised by that, Patriots. Oh, backwards hat for this. I'll have to visualize it. 1. Good pause at the end. 2.
This is a long... I can't see him right now.
3.
Oh, have some oxygen.
4. 5. Down. Up. Like the pacer test. Oh, he's on his back now. Here we go. The sit-ups. Oh, put that hat forward. 1. 2. Down. Up. 3. Down.
In the meantime, are you shocked the Patriots are there instead of the Panthers? Panthers are the next in line at plus 320.
Yeah, I would. It must have something to do with the schedule. The Patriots must have a tougher schedule. And the Panthers playing
pretty close though, boys.
The Panthers playing that god-awful division, which might have something to do with it.
I told you. I thought that they would be pretty far up there for the number 1 pick, though.
Yeah, I'm surprised they're number 2. I would have guessed they'd been number 3 or 4.
And Drake May has shown promise.
He's played well.
They're going to win some games with that quarterback.
They have a terrible, terrible offensive line. So they're somebody they have a luxury because if they get a high draft pick, they're in prime position to trade down and start stockpiling other pieces on the roster.
Shouldn't they get a top talent player though?
Their biggest need is that offensive line, and I don't know if there's an offensive line other than the kid Campbell from LSU who's really worth that top 3. If anything, get somebody at 8, 10.
That's another conversation. I agree. I like trading down and acquiring picks, but another conversation is people used to call in and scream bloody murder at me if I was doing radio in Cleveland or Peoria. You got the pick for a reason. You got to pick. You got to pick the top talent. Why you keep trading down?
I would say that's an issue if you had needed a quarterback, and they don't need a quarterback.
See, this quarterback draft right now does not look as star-studded as last year's, but it's like clockwork. Every single year, these franchises panic and they talk themselves in to think Carson Beck's a number 1 round guy.
No, you're right. You're right. And I think there are 2 quarterbacks. I personally think there's 1 quarterback.
Who are you out on?
I'm out on Shedeur.
He's going to be a good pro.
I'm out on Shedeur, but I like Cam Ward. I just I hope Shedeur plays. So I like Prime. I tell you guys all the time, I like Prime, but I hope that Prime doesn't do too much. And listen, Prime knows a lot better for his kid than I do. Okay, let's make that clear. But my hope is that there's too much pressure on and he forces if Cleveland has the number 1 pick, he's not going to the Browns. I can almost guarantee you that. I can guarantee
that has nothing to do with Sanders as a player. That has everything to do with Coach Prime and the baggage surrounding him.
I don't like that. I guess just mark me as not liking that. But
yeah, I don't disagree with that. I don't like that either. Ward, but I think as a player, he's a really good. He has a chance to be a good pro.
Hear me out on Cam Ward, guys. I know Jaden Daniels.
Hear him out on the Heisman favorite.
Yeah. But in the
Hear
NFL,
me out on Anna de Armas.
Hang on, though. Cute. Guys,
all right, go ahead.
Come on. In the NFL, I think he could have success. You saw it with Jaden Daniels. I know you guys snickered at me a little bit there, but going into last year's college football season, you did not expect what Jaden Daniels did. I think it's a situation like Jaden Daniels for Cam Ward right now. He'll probably win the Heisman Trophy, and I could see his style of play having success in the NFL. Cam is really good at improvising. Now, I think Caleb Williams learned the hard way. You can't necessarily do what you did in college at the professional level. I think Cam Ward, with the way he plays, I think his improvising is more like Jaden Daniels. Now, Daniels has more speed. I think he's more of the athlete. But I would take Cam Ward's arm over Daniels' arm.
But Mike, the reason why you're getting snickered at is because you're saying, hear me out, on the odds-on favorite, the top quarterback in the Heisman race now. We don't have to hear you out.
Draft,
we heard everyone else say it before you.
Any list I look at right now, and obviously this could change, the lists I all look at right now still have Carson Beck and Quinn Ewers and Shedeur Sanders over him.
Fair enough.
So he's like the fifth or fourth rated quarterback in the draft right now. I don't rate Beck. I like Quinn Ewers. I don't know if he could have success in the NFL, though, honest to God. And we're already seeing injury issues, too, with Quinn Ewers.
We're a little too early. We don't need to be breaking down the quarterback draft prospects. We'll save that until March. Let's get to some 5 and 5.
I wasn't ready.
Number one.
It's okay.
I was not ready.
Well, slow on the ball. A little winded from the push-ups and the sit-ups. It makes sense.
I was not winded, and my form was perfection.
Military, like Marine style.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the form.
You can balance a glass of water on your back. The Yankees won their pennant for the first time in 15 years. However, Brian Cashman says that's not the case. It has not been 15 years since the New York Yankees won the pennant. Because if you remember about that team that cheated us out of one in 2017, so it's not fair. Are these comments from Cashman taking direct shots at the Houston Astros 7 years later? Are they fair?
This is a fascinating comment that he made because it was sort of unprompted.
Who was he with?
Huh?
Who was he with?
I'm not sure. It was totally unprompted because it was just about the drought. And the drought is without a doubt, that's the case. And to one point, let's establish this. The Yankees are the only team that could of course the Dodgers can complain, but the Yankees lost every game at Minute Maid that series. So they of course looked bad, but the Yankees, they didn't hit well that series, so there's that. But you're right. They won every game at the Yankee Stadium. But to say that they would have beaten the Dodgers, too, yeah.
But that's not the drought.
Yeah, I guess there's the pennant is what he's talking about. But, acting like they were cheated out of, the World Championship. That's kind of the illusion I was given. But, you've been in the mix every year other than that as well, and you haven't gotten it done, whether it be to the Astros fairly or not. So I think it's a little much. And it's not like stealing signs is a brand new concept, too, that other teams are not doing.
C-Cat, one thing you and I can agree with is those cheating! You know what's in Houston. AJ Hinch shouldn't be allowed to manage.
No.
The Altuve and Correa and those guys, I don't know how they're allowed to. I guess they could play, but they should have been suspended at least a year or two.
I think the title should have been vacated. That's my take.
The punishment wasn't right, okay? That was the biggest cheating, Ponzi scam, whatever you want to call it, that we've seen in modern day sports, okay?
It is.
Absolutely ridiculous. I am with Cashman on this 110%. They should have went to a World Series. And the reason I'm angry, let's rewind to that same year where Houston beat Cleveland. And after the game,
I don't think they used the trash cans.
After the game, look it up. Mike Clevenger and Trevor Bauer, the two guys who pitched in that series, they looked at Hoynesy, Paul Hoynes, great reporter for Cleveland.com. Look him up. They looked at Hoynesy and said, Hoynesy, I don't know how to explain it, but they knew the pitch. They knew what I was throwing.
Well, they were cheating, yes.
But after the game, they were on that. And we're all like,
well, they were on it all series. They were on it all series.
In Cleveland, we go, oh, man, we're making excuses. Look at this and that. Sure enough, as a junior reporter at the time that I got in a good relationship with Clevenger. That winter, when the winter, I think they call it not winter meetings. It was like the winter formal where the media and the players talk or whatever. Clevenger pulls me aside and goes, bro, I told you. I told you they were cheating. I hate the Astros. I don't think that the punishment was deserved at all. Manfred completely dropped the ball. I think Rob Manfred has made great strides in the game of baseball. He royally screwed that up.
Well, the thing is, the only way you could do the investigation is by granting the players immunity, which is what he did. So I don't necessarily have a problem with leaving the players out of the actual punishment, But if you're going to punish anybody, vacate the title.
Only time you'll hear me backing up the Yankees is with those cheating scumbags.
In terms of doing the investigation was done without players' cooperation, with all the evidence that was left behind.
Yeah, but they needed former players. Fires, all of a sudden, how are they safe?
Because everyone in that
Fires was the
clubhouse-
whistleblower.
Exactly.
Fires was the whistleblower, and they had guys go to other teams. If all of a sudden you punish those guys, then all of a sudden the guy in the Oakland A's, the guy on the Nationals, the guy in the Cubs, all of a sudden get punished
But
too.
I'm bitter. Like, I don't think Altuve...
Cora gets punished too because he's at the Red Sox. Then the Red Sox get hurt. So that's why you got to grant them immunity.
Cora, Altuve, I know Cora not as a player. Altuve, none of those guys should be in the Hall of Fame.
And we're doing too much on this.
None of them.
Really grinds my gears when sports fans, casual baseball people, mention this in the same conversation as Spygate, as Deflategate. It's completely different. There is no level of cheating done in sports that rivals what the Astros did in 2017 and beyond. Because 2019, look at that.
Seacat, that bozo Altuve had a buzzer. That
was 2019, but that was different. That was a different season. The trash cans in 2017.
You know what hit that son of a gun.
Game 6 against the Yankees.
Hit a walk-off and goes, no, guys, I got the device on me. You can't attack me at home plate.
Now, one thing I'll say is
Loser!
When you go to the Dodgers, who blew Game 7 at home against the Houston Astros that year, that's why, all right, you can't take that much. It'll win the game. But to that same point,
I'm good.
What was it, Game 5, Game 4, something like that? When the Dodgers played the Astros in that World Series in 2017, and Kershaw, for the only time in his career, for his entire career, not one swing and miss at his slider, his renowned slider. It was like 38, and not one was a swing and miss. And Kershaw said post-game, that is the first time in my career that nobody's ever swung at my slider.
I liked these comments from Cashman because the moment we stop talking about it is the moment it disappears. And
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that, but I also don't think the Yankees should be talking about the Astros when they finally got over the hump.
That's true. That's kind of like your crazy ex-girlfriend at your wedding.
Yes, it's sort of like the boogeyman is still in the closet.
It's him I don't mind it because it's him defending. I feel very strongly on my hatred for the Astros, and I know more or less that guard for Houston has changed. Those players aren't there. That bozo Hinch is with Detroit, who got their you-know-what beat by the Guardians, so I'm good.
Yeah, what I'll say to that is the only way the only thing they screwed up on is they should have vacated the title. That's what they should have done. They suspended Hinch a year. They fired both of them, both the general manager Lujo and Hinch. So those guys got fired, and the players got immunity. Vacate the title. That's your next step.
And we'll be revisiting this in 10 years.
Postseason ban.
Yes. We'll revisit this in 10 years when Hall of Fame gets talked about Altuve.
I don't even want to hear it. I won't even consider it, and I'll be screaming into a microphone that he doesn't deserve it.
Looking forward to it. Hopefully we're still in these offices.
Number 2. Wow.
Number 2.
Nestor Cortes says he will be on the World Series roster for the Yankees. He said that he's on the mend, risk of Tommy John surgery. He said that if it means that he will have to lose a year of baseball because of injury to win a ring, that's the price it takes. He's willing to do it.
That's great. That's an insane thing to say. What's your take on this, C-Cat? I want to ask you as a Yankee fan. 30 pitches from a guy who hasn't pitched in over a month for risking that type of injury. You into it?
Listen, this conversation will be different if it's Garrett Cole. Of course, the amount invested.
He's a little expendable. He's a little expendable.
Exactly. He's a dog. He's a downright
he's a left-armed pitcher against a lot of good left bats.
He is a glue guy. He is an infantry foot soldier. He's a dog. That's exactly what this clubhouse needs. Yeah. Good for Nestor. I'm happy for him.
Anything to win. I'm completely fine with him doing this, and you guys sound like you disagreed. If this were Cole and I needed him to start and it was the World Series, if it meant the difference between winning a World Series and losing one, I'd be okay with missing Cole for you. It's a World Series, guys.
This is not just a year.
World
He's
Series.
not pitching. This is an elbow inflammation, so if he was able to do a bullpen session and be okay, just deploy him properly, no back-to-backs, the whole bit. But if you lose him to Tommy John, he's not pitching until the following July of 2026.
My rebuttal to that is just ask the Yankees. And it's because it's the Yankee standards, but you don't know the next time you're going to get back, man.
True.
Yeah, true.
So, but it's a matter of if he'll pitch well, number one, and if he won't get hurt. So there's 2 questions there. But, good for him. I can't make that decision for him, but it's risky. It's risky, gutsy, and sometimes that's what it takes. So I'll take that. Number 3.
Number 3.
Blake Horvath, Navy quarterback, and Bryson Daly, Army quarterback. Remember the names. They're having historic years for their respective service academies. Is it time for service academy players to get national consideration? We're talking Heisman, folks.
For these two, absolutely, right? These two are unbelievable.
Yeah, we love these guys. We love our troops. These are our teams. You know, they really pulled through with us at Punchline Picks. I'm looking forward to Navy to winning against Notre Dame. I think they could win that game, guys.
I think they
really
can win that game too, but it makes me nervous.
But these guys deserve national attention.
I'm surprised it's Horvath being the talk conversation. How about Bryson Daly? Bryson Daly is not as much of a prolific passer as Horvath is, but he has 629 yards passing. Low, I understand. 7 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 0 sacks. And then rushing the football, he's at over 900 yards and 19 touchdowns on the ground.
I understand they're not playing against Power 4 teams. They're not playing against top 25 teams week in and week out like the SEC, the Big Ten, and ACC every now and then. But, Colin, those statistics you just rattled off, they are dominating their competition. Like, if you're going to play those teams, you better dominate them if you want the national consideration. And they're doing exactly what they need to do. I think people are going to be pleasant. I think Navy could win that game. And if you were to ask me straight up, who do I think is going to win the game? I'm picking Navy because I don't trust Notre Dame. I know this. Regardless, people are going to remember the Naval Academy after that game. I promise you. It's not going to be a blowout.
I am hoping.
It will not be a blowout.
Remember them, like the Alamo.
I'm in on the service academies I've been in.
Yeah.
I love those guys.
Papa Chuck was in the Navy.
Sign me up, and it's time to give those guys some credit because I know it's gimmicky, the wishbone and the wing tee and all that stuff, but this is something different.
Right?
There's something different. And this is not the same Naval Academy and the Army West Point as years past.
The last time Navy had a winning record, 2019, they went 11-2. There's something special about this Navy team.
I remember they gave a big scare to Michigan that year. I remember watching that game.
Yeah. How many losses does Michigan have, boys? Oh, isn't it great?
Number 4.
Isn't it great? Oh, my God.
Number 4.
It's awesome.
Robert Saleh, remember him? Fired Jets head coach? Well, he has been spotted at Packer practice and apparently has a fluid role with the team. It's worth noting that the Packers do not play the Jets the rest of the season. My question for you guys, can he be a successful defensive coordinator in the NFL again?
No doubt. And if I'm not surprised LaFleur likes him, he needs something to do, why wouldn't you bring him in? I don't know. He's already scouted against a bunch of other teams that you're probably going to have to play. So there's that advantage, Colin, and he's a motivator.
Correct me if I'm wrong on this. LaFleur, Kyle Shanahan, McDaniel, all from the same tree.
Yeah.
Right? No surprise to me that one of the Shanahan disciples picked up Salah, because Salah, defensive coordinator for Kyle for 5 years in San Francisco?
He needs to pull Brian Flores. Go find a spot where they need a defensive coordinator and go do your thing.
I thought he was a great coordinator for the Niners. He's definitely going to be a good coordinator in this league. He's a rootable guy. He's a guy you could root for, in my opinion. I'm happy he's out of New York. I don't think anybody could have been successful with that situation. I think with Aaron Rodgers, and before the year, I thought that situation stunk. They're 2-5.
Do you think that's LaFleur throwing a bone to Saleh? I don't really get it because I feel like if I got fired after that zoo in New York, you kind of want to take the season to just chill.
But maybe that's the opposite. Maybe he's like, I want to work. He's like, I'm already doing this. I've put so much effort into this. Does anybody need my services?
He's young too. It's not like he can't be 50.
And he's not. It's not like he's putting in the same amount of time and effort into what he's doing. He's a fluid role.
Right.
He's probably just in it. It's probably a day job.
But it's not like he's flying to a major metropolitan area.
But
he's going to Green Bay just to work.
Maybe that's exactly what he needs.
Yeah,
he was just in the metropolitan area.
I was just about to say that. And aren't the Packers and the Jets just the complete opposites? The Jets are a mess and have never been stable, I'd argue, since Rex Ryan and Mark Sanchez.
Which was, barely.
Decades ago at this point almost, okay? And the Packers have been a stable. Now, they haven't won the big one since 2010, but they've been the definition of stability, success.
Let him go chill out, enjoy himself at practice at Packers. I like that. I'm with it. Bob Saleh, I'm in on that.
Have you been to Lambeau, Colin?
Yeah, it's great. It's a great time.
I've never been.
Number 5, really quickly.
Number 5.
The NBA has a probe out on the 76ers. They're looking into load management issues with big man Joel Embiid. How does the NBA police load management that has plagued that league for quite some time now.
This is a big topic. We'll finish off the show with this after the break. But in the meantime, where you could go bet the college football, you go to Hard Rock Bet. Now you've seen the first few weeks of the season. It's time to get involved over at Hard Rock Bet. Last year, you couldn't really legally bet in Florida till week 14. Now, with the NBA full swing, with the World Series coming up, college football, NFL, you could bet it all on Hard Rock Bet. Each game, bet the touchdown scores, passing yards, other stats, total points, who will win, and so much more. They also got the futures, who's going to win the division, who's going to win the awards. They have so much to get involved in. Don't want to bet a ton of money? Try a parlay. String together a bunch of small ones. Increase your odds. In week 1, a Florida bettor went 16 for 16. Put all of the games together, won them all, turned $15 into over $100,000. He did that on Hard Rock Bet. You could do the same. Get started today. It's Hard Rock Bet. All you got to do is download the Hard Rock Bet app on the App Store or the Google Play Store, or go online to hardrock.bet. Try it today. Go to Hard Rock Bet and get up to $100 back in bonus bets if that first bet does not win. That first bet can be a parlay, prop, the over, whatever you like to bet. Any games you choose. You either win your first bet or get the same amount you bet back as a bonus bet. Try it today. Hard Rock Bets offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Call 1-888-ADMIT-IT. Load management in the NBA, of course, it always comes up, but Joel Embiid not playing, Kawhi Leonard not playing, it might be an injury. We give our thoughts on that next. Stick around and close out the show. Russo Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
ESPN 106.3 is presented by Rubenstein Law. 1-800-FL-LEGAL. Car accident, truck accident, Uber or Lyft accident, or a slip and fall. Call Rubenstein Law. Call 1-800-FL-LEGAL and visit one of our offices throughout Florida.
I'm Wendy Sartori-Link, your Palm Beach County Supervisor of Elections. Election Day is November 5th. In Palm Beach County, eligible voters can vote during early voting from October 21st through November 3rd at any early voting location. Visit votepalmbeach.gov to find a location, check wait times, and skip the line by making an appointment ahead of time. Don't forget to bring your photo and signature ID. We can't wait to see you at the polls. Sponsored by the Palm Beach County Supervisor of Elections Office.
Hi, it's Luis Fonsi. What makes a performer truly legendary? How about being the #1 bestseller for 47 straight years? That's what Ford F-Series trucks have done every year since 1976. For generations, hard-working South Floridians have relied on Ford F-Series trucks to help grow businesses, communities, and families. A legacy of capability and technology. Ford trucks, perfect for South Florida. See your local Ford dealer today.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill, when your friend bets against your team and the friendship. Or choose chill because you're drinking Coors Light with your buddy. Coors Light, choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Calling all sports fans, grab your MVP card and head to Duffy's where you can catch all of the action. Not an MVP? Sign up for free and start earning rewards today. Duffy's is voted the best sports grill year after year with their award-winning burgers and wings. Don't forget about Duffy's famous 2-for-1 drinks all day, every day. And with over 80 TVs in every location, you'll never miss a minute of the game. Visit Duffy'sMVP.com to learn more. Duffy's, our game is always on.
She ain't gon' tie me down. Why you on the road? Got it on the shirt, saw the hat, saw the clothes. What you want right now?
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Closing out the program here on a Thursday, Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3. One thing about the ESPN app that I absolutely love, that is brand new, I think, and that has really taken on the scene for me in terms of my sports viewing experience, is the Where to Watch feature on the ESPN app or ESPN.com. If you look at your app, you can take a look at the top right. There's a little, TV-ish type of icon that you could click, and all of a sudden, every game, every league, where to watch it. Whether it's a streaming service, whether it's a local news program, whether it's local radio, wherever you want to watch it, scroll there. It's all available. It's so useful.
It is, and I do it with soccer. You know I'm a huge European soccer fan. I look at that for all my soccer games because, the French league, it's usually on BN, but sometimes it's on CBS. a lot of the times the La Liga soccer is on ESPN Plus, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes I have to go to Telemundo. So Telemundo is the Mexican broadcast, the Spanish broadcast. So it's really helpful for me with soccer. And not to mention now, too, with the NBA, like, you know, is it on TNT one night? Is it on ESPN one night? Very, very useful tool. The NFL, it's like, you know where the NFL games are at because it's just so drilled into our brain. But another good example is a college football Saturday.
Yeah.
Like, it's so many people, like my family didn't know that the Big Ten was like NBC and CBS. They're still looking on like ESPN for games for the Buckeyes. I'm like, guys, it's either NBC, Big Ten Network, CBS. ESPN. It's like, yeah. So like, and now the big games in the SEC are no longer Brad Nessler and Gary Danielson. It's the Big Ten, and the SEC is with ESPN. Very confusing stuff. This really helps dumb it down. It's an amazing tool, CCAT.
Oh, I love it. I love it so much. And I like it's kind of selfless because ESPN could have done this to where they tell you where all the ESPN games are at.
Right.
Yeah, but at least they tell you if it's FS1, Fox, NBC.
That's why, like, college football Saturday, that's one of the first things I check while I'm watching game day.
Love that. That's the Where to Watch feature. Check it out in the top right icon on your ESPN app. It's also on the ESPN.com as well. Russo and Rizzo here. Well, we mentioned the NBA. The NBA has had an issue that has plagued them for many years now, but is also now officially launching investigations in order to probe this very issue. It's the issue of load management, which in the last 15 years has turned into a major phenomenon amongst star players, mostly specifically.
Yeah.
And how they treat going in and out for their games. And now Joel Embiid, who is, people are questioning how healthy he is or whether he is healthy or not. All of a sudden, the NBA is investigating the Sixers into health management.
And I know what did we talk about this during the 5 at 5 a day or two ago when Embiid and George were announced hurt? I go, guys, are they hurt or are they hurt? And I feel like the NBA, I feel like last year was the first time they really started to police the load management. And Colin, you had some numbers for me in the pre-show meeting. Like Kevin Durant played over 70 games last year. LeBron James played over 70 games last year. Steph Curry played over 70 games last year. So
there's some good things there, and that's good. That's
exactly.
Good.
And last year, as I said, was the first year that Adam Silver really said, all right, enough of this, right? So I think it's that's good. And, we did our, CCAT and I did our fantasy basketball draft. One of the reasons I decided to take LeBron was because I think he is pending injury. I think he is going to be playing like that 74, 75 game mark. So I think Silver is doing a good job of trying to get rid of it. The problem is, like, are you going to make up injuries? And is every injury now going to be investigated like this one going on in Philadelphia? Is every injury that happens to a star player when he's got like a nagging ankle, is this going to turn into a whole probe?
We have a whooping cough. I don't feel good. Can't play today. Sorry.
Kevin Durant, other than last year, hadn't played over 70 games since he left the Warriors. Steph Curry, since the last time he played 70-plus games, other than last year, was 2016, 2017. LeBron hasn't played 70-plus games other than last year since he left Cleveland. You go down the list there. Giannis, somebody who's pretty good about playing, but, hasn't played 70-plus games other than last year, was 2018, 2019. That's a 4-year gap where he had 60 games-ish. That seems like a lot of games nowadays, but it's not. That's 20 games missed. That's a fourth of the season you are not playing. And whether the injuries, nagging here and there, I understand these guys have injuries, but Embiid has never played 70-plus games in his career.
Yeah, and I personally, This isn't. I don't have any sources or anything. My best guess is this is load management for Embiid. Honest to God,
it is, and he says it. He's never playing it back to back. That's not an injury thing. That's a load management thing. Doncic has played over 70 games twice. It was last year and his first year in the NBA. The 4 years in between, within the 60s. That, to me, that availability is a major problem. Anthony Davis, somebody who's famously made of glass, played 76 games last year, and the time before that was 2017, 2018.
Yeah, and fair play, like I said, so fair play to Adam Silver. He looked at these guys and said, guys, you're going to have to play, and majority of them did. So I worry that every injury, we're going to be hearing about a lot more probes then, but if this is how you stop it, I'm fine with it. Agreed? If this is how you stop it,
watch
the probes, baby. The Imperial probe droids from Star Wars. Launch them, baby.
And real quick, some of the players are complaining about how these awards that are in the season
get voided at 65.
Oh, cry me a river. Cry me a river.
Coming out of a couple of years where Barkley, Ewing, Malone, Jordan, even go to Duncan, Kobe, Nash, they played every single game. 70+ every year. Why has that changed? Is it the NBA that much better? Is it that much faster and bigger and stronger? That was 15 years ago, 20 years ago. These guys played in those leagues.
Pop and LeBron popularized.
Those Spurs Heat series really popularized that. That's what created load management. Now the NBA's got a major, major problem on their hands. We'll see how they address it. We'll see if they can fix it. It hurts the regular season product. It hurts the common fan. It's been Russo and Rizzo, a Thursday edition, sending you off to some Thursday night football. We could back at it tomorrow, 4 to 6. Stay tuned. It's Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
ESPN West Palm is highlighting the best performance of the week, presented by Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Every week, a different team will be featured across ESPN 106.3 and ESPN West Palm Play. The winning performance receives $500, courtesy of Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Do you know a team, player, or school with a killer performance? Nominate them by emailing highschool@espnwestpalm.com. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Go where the pros go.
There's something that binds us all. The constant hunger to improve. The obsession with every detail. And the reward of a custom fitting taking your game to a whole new level. We're all bound by two words said by golfers worldwide. Schedule your fitting at Edwin Watts Golf Shops. Find your local store at worldwidegolf.com. Get there.
PNC Bank is committed to helping the customers and the communities they serve move forward financially. To do this, they're implementing their Community Benefits Plan that focuses on affordable home lending, small business loans, and employee volunteerism, and creating other opportuns to give back on a local level. They're proud to be a part of the South Florida community. See how PNC Bank can make a difference for you at pnc.com/our commitments. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
Hey, Colin Russo here, and this is your Miami Dolphins Minute. Well, the Fins suffered yet another loss coming off the bye week at a 16-10 slugfest with the Indianapolis Colts in Indy. This was not the pretty type of game you'd hope for on an NFL Sunday due to another set of injuries hitting the Dolphins. Quarterback Tyler Huntley went down in the second half with an injury to his throwing shoulder. Tim Boyle finished the game. Well, on the bright side of things, the defense was stingy, holding the Colts to under 300 total yards, and quarterback Anthony Richardson to 129 yards passing. Quarterback Tua Tagovailoa is set to return to practice this week from a concussion, shaping up for a return to the field next Sunday against the Cardinals. We'll see if Tua can help turn around the Dolphins' problematic 2-4 start to the season. That was your Miami Dolphins Minute, presented by Hard Rock Bet, Florida's official sportsbook. For the first time ever in Florida, bet on the Dolphins all season long. Try Hard Rock Bet now and receive up to $100 back in bonus bets if your first bet does not win. It's offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Mark your calendars and gear up for game day. This Sunday, October 27th, join Bud Light and the ESPN West Palm Street team at Recovery Sports Bar in Port St. Lucie. Catch the action as the Cardinals face off against the Miami Dolphins from 2 to 4 p.m. Showcase your football skills for a chance to qualify for Dolphins tickets. Enjoy $20 Bud Light buckets while you cheer on the Fins. Must be 21 or older to participate. Southern Eagle reminds you to please drink responsibly.
Welcome to Homestead Miami, your home for the racing highlight. A track as vibrant and colorful as South Florida. An Xfinity and Craftsman Truck Series playoffs doubleheader on Saturday. A Cup Series playoffs showdown on Sunday. And it's all caliente.
Side by side for the race lead.
NASCAR playoffs weekend at Homestead Miami Speedway, October 26th and 27th. Get your tickets now at homesteadmiamispeedway.com.
Hell of a job, guys. Kaiser University's flagship campus, the 100-acre residential campus at 2600 North Military Trail in West Palm Beach, extends Kaiser University's educational offerings to over 100 degrees in the heart of South Florida. Kaiser University also has an athletic program with 20 national championships, including the 2024 Women's Swimming and Diving Championship and 2023 football, lacrosse, and men's swimming and diving titles. Visit KUSeahawks.com for the latest.
Anajar and Levine. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 1063.
WUUB Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Bet live with Hard Rock Bet. Real-time wagering till the very last play. Missing the kickoff doesn't mean all bets are off.
Delay a game on the guy who hasn't bet yet.
Sometimes you just know your team is going to come back. There's sportsbook for every kind of player. Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us. Get up to $100 back if your first bet doesn't win. Payable and bonus bet up to $100, not a cash offer. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Banyan Printing, your trusted printing, mailing, and signage partner in the Palm Beaches for over 45 years. Banyan Printing's new metallic ink press adds that extra shine so that your product comes out in glossy gold, sparkling silver, or any other color you want to shine. Banyan Printing is the official printer of Kaiser Athletics and would love to be your official printing partner as well. Order products and learn more about what Banyan Printing can do for your business at banyanonline.com or call 561-586-6220.
ESPN West Palm is highlighting the best performance of the week, presented by Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Every week, a different team will be featured across ESPN 1063 and ESPN West Palm Play. The winning performance receives $500, courtesy of Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Do you know a team, player, or school with a killer performance? Nominate them by emailing highschool@espnwestpalm.com. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Go where the pros go.
What's the Anajar Levine difference? When you're injured in a car crash, we focus on your case so you can focus on the one thing that matters most, getting better. I'm Glenn Levine with Anajar Levine. We'll fight to get you the maximum compensation you deserve. Call our legal team right now for a free consultation, 1-800-747-FREE. We'll help you take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
In office, West Palm Beach. Time now for a PNC pause. PNC Bank is committed to making a difference in the lives of the customers they serve in the South Florida community. See how at PNC.com. You're listening to ESPN 1063.
When you're hiring for your business, ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology makes finding qualified candidates for your job easy. This made us wonder, what if the rest of the world was as easy as ZipRecruiter? Math problems wouldn't be so problematic.
K equals 42.
Escape rooms? Elementary. And summiting Everest would be a walk in the park. In the meantime, if you want to make your hiring easier, use ZipRecruiter. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Simple. So, see what the world is like when ZipRecruiter does the hard work of hiring for you. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
I'm Wendy Sartori-Link, your Palm Beach County Supervisor of Elections. Tuesday, November 5th is Election Day and the polls are open 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Find where you vote at votepalmbeach.gov. Remember to bring your photo and signature ID. If you still have a mail ballot, you can either vote in person at your polling location, drop it off at one of our drop-off locations during designated hours, or bring it to our main office by 7 p.m. on Election Day. It's an honor to serve and ensure your vote counts. See you at the polls. Sponsored by the Palm Beach County Supervisor of Elections Office.
The following is a paid program. Advice and opinions expressed during this program are solely that of the hosts or guests of this program and not of ESPN 1063 or Good Karma Brands.
Y'all ready? Turn it up.
Here we go.
Turn up your radio right now.
Right now. ESPN West Palm Tonight is on ESPN 1063.
What's up, West Palm Beach, and welcome on in to ESPN West Palm Tonight. I'm your host, Mike Rizzo. We have a lot of special guests on the show tonight. We're going to have a lot of fun talking to a lot of different people who do a lot of cool things in the community. So I'm looking forward to getting things underway. Let's actually go to our first guest right now. Our good buddy Theo Dorsey sat down with Andy Cognetta of Transworld Business Advisors. Theo, take it away.
We are on to week 8 in the NFL, week 9 of college football. We've crowned a WNBA champion. And look at this. The World Series stage is set. Two of the biggest brands in sports, not just in Major League Baseball, in sports. So, you know, my insides are tingling already, excited for what it's like to be right here in the midst of October, a great sports October. And myself, Theo Dorsey, now joined by Andy Cognetta, CEO of Transworld. We bring him on. We talk every single month, Andy. And I feel like this month, this is the one that has the most juice on the sports calendar. You're a sports and business guy, but just as a sports fan, how you feeling right now?
It is Sportstober. I mean,
yeah,
it's a great month for sports. I mean, you know, rolling out the NHL, rolling out the NBA. We're halfway through about halfway through the NFL season.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Mr. October, but we were just talking about that. It's no longer Mr. October if you win the World Series, is it?
I guess it is. I looked it up. So it technically, you can do it if the Yankees or the Dodgers are able to close it in 5.
Right.
If you can close it in 5, you can be crowned in October. You can don the name Mr. October. If not, Mr. November doesn't have the same ring to it.
No, it's not. It's not going to happen. And plus, most of the work will be done in October.
Yes.
Because it may be game 6 and 7 are in November.
Yeah, game 6 and 7 in November. And we'll see. Those are if necessary. You never know when you have that many stars on the biggest stage in baseball. Excitement going to be through the roof, and so maybe the home runs and the runs and just the highlights that come out of this World Series. Andy, I didn't know this until we just started chopping it up, but you're actually a New York Yankees fan. Have you ever been this excited for a World Series? Have you seen at least a couple of them for your favorite team? Have you been this excited just knowing these are, this is the Dodgers, this is the Yankees, or were you more amped up if you were going to be able to do a Subway Series again?
Well, first of all, Subway Series was insane. But, anytime that they got to play here in South Florida, so they got to play the Marlins back in the day. So we were able to go to 3 games, then Dolphin Stadium. So that was extra special. But how can you deny a Yankee Dodgers? I mean, we're hearkening back to the days of the Brooklyn Dodgers, New York Yankees, but just think of the star power they got going this time. I mean, all of Asia is watching.
Yeah.
All the United States is watching. I mean, it's going to be huge.
In the championship series, I believe the ratings were higher in Japan than they were even in the United States. So Rob Manfred, the business-minded man he is excited about that for baseball. And both stadiums are going to be packed out. Game 1 of the World Series, we're starting things off in L.A. It's going to be Friday, first pitch, 5 o'clock, ahead of a big weekend actually in Los Angeles because you'll have USC at home. I believe the Lakers are going to be playing as well that weekend. So it's going to be a fun weekend between the World Series and all the action there. You're a Yankees fan. I know it's not going to be happening here in South Florida, but it's happening at 2 of the most historic ballparks in the nation. Any plans on making your way either up to the Big Apple or out west to check out this World Series in person?
I had that thought, and
come on,
I think I'm going to look into it.
How can you not?
Well, I mean, so I think I would love to bring my dad to the game.
Yeah.
And so, God bless my dad. He's still hanging around, and he's still able to get out there, and I would love to bring him to a game. So we'll see.
It'll be special.
Come on. A World Series is, a bucket list thing. I've been to a World Series, been to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But a Yankees World Series against the Dodgers, why not?
All right, now I did because we're, obviously we're business savvy here when we're with Andy Cognetta, who's with Transworld Business Advisors. You're all about the negotiation, buy, sell, trade when it comes to big businesses. I just want to run a couple of these ticket prices that I'm seeing here at Yankee Stadium. Let's just say you hold off for like game 3 or game 4 at Yankee Stadium. Do you even want to hear where this number is starting out here as I'm looking through sections 400?
We're definitely in 4 figures, right?
Oh, there's a comma in all these numbers. There's a comma. No shortage of commas on SeatGeek right now. So
I'm sure there's not 2 commas, but I'm sure there's absolutely 1 comma. Is it 5 figures?
We are, thankfully, no. Thankfully, no. Now, if you want to be in Section 100, which is obviously lower level,
you got to be in the lower bowl.
That's $5,400.
Wow.
Each. I'm looking for two tickets.
That's 5 figures for 2 people.
That would be
there.
that would be over $10K for you and your pops to check it out. Wow. But if you get up there, if you pull up, you bring out your binoculars, section 400, only $1,100.
That's a bargain.
Yeah. Come on,
I mean, that's 2 dinners in New York.
Yeah, I was about to say, look, you've spent $1,100, I'm sure, on things you regret more than an experience at the World Series.
And you're going to take the subway to save money, right?
There you go. There you go. Just the little things. The little things add up. I'm curious for you to off of the baseball onto the NFL, because obviously it's the most monumentous thing going right now in sports. The arms race that's been happening specifically in the
wide
AFC.
Receivers?
Yeah, the Jets go out and get Aaron Rodgers' best buddy, and then the Bills go get Amari Cooper, and then now you got the Chiefs go and get DeAndre Hopkins. These negotiations, does that side of it kind of intrigue you, because we're seeing the price fluctuate on what you can do to get these number 1 receivers?
Yeah,
and then it's competitive.
It's pretty interesting because it's a big game, right? It's a lot of it's a chess game. It's not a checkers game.
Right.
I mean, checkers would be, we need a wide receiver, we'll get one. The chess game is, okay, we're abandoning this season already.
Yeah.
And we have a wide receiver that KC needs, that, the Jets need, and they're willing to pay, and we could get a couple draft choices for it. It's a chess game, and then you got to throw in the cap and the luxury, you got to throw in all this stuff to figure out, what are we going to look like if this season is already done? I mean, some of these teams, and I won't mention a few of the teams that are already, I think, nobody's statistically out of it, but certainly.
I'll mention them, the Jaguars.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one. The Dolphins might be on the precipice of that they don't get their act together this weekend, but there's some.
Yeah, I mean, the Dolphins are going to have a big turnaround, and, listen, we're all praying for Tua that he doesn't get hurt again. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants the game to go through that. I think they're taking a big risk. But, I guess that's the game. I mean, even Tua said it. He's like personal choice,
Yeah.
He's making this personal choice. People do risky things in their lives. They mountain climb. They go do daredevil things, jump out of planes, and he's chosen to be a football player.
Yeah. What's your risk level? What's the riskiest, most adventure, thrill-seeking thing that Andy Cagnetta has done? Because
I used to be a surfer, and I say used to be because I haven't paddled out in a little while. I paddled out in Australia a few times, but I've paddled out in some hurricane waves, and you kind of. Mother Nature is humbling. Mm-hmm. I mean, and it's not messing around. So that's probably the most risky thing I've done out there, because I've gotten tumbled around so much that I didn't know if I was coming back in. So
one thing I don't do, I don't play with water. The deep sea out here in the ocean. We're in South Florida. I've done some what do you call it? Jet skiing.
Right.
But my tail is staying on that jet ski if we're out on the ocean. I don't play. I don't go too far out there. Ain't nothing out there for me.
Yeah,
at all.
There's something swimming underneath you too, so you got to be careful.
Yeah, exactly, 100%, and I don't risk that. So again, we touched on Major League Baseball, which obviously is about to crown a champion.
Right.
We talked about the NFL, which now there's an arms race of teams trying to position themselves for the championship that's going to be settled out in February. How about the WNBA? Rounding out their year. It took 28 years, but the New York Liberty finally able to crown a champion in their own city. Did you see, I'm curious, because we'll talk about the Caitlin Clark of it all with this new Big Three women's league that's on the way. I'm just curious what your thoughts were around. You saw how people were getting at the commissioner of the WNBA wearing the dress that had the New York skyline on it. People feeling like calls went in favor of the New York Liberty and everything, and then the big market team getting the win. In a year where the WNBA saw the highest ratings it's ever seen because of that Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese effect, now they also get their biggest market, a championship with a couple of stars on it. It works out well for the business side of it. Did you see any of that? Did you think something weird or quirky was going on there?
Yeah, so number one, I went to school with Kathy.
Really?
Who's the commissioner of the WNBA.
Okay.
And she was in my class at Lehigh, actually one class away from me at Lehigh University. And so she's a bigwig now, and she's doing a great job. The WNBA has to now realize what they have in Caitlin Clark as far as, the ratings for her playoff were up in the 2 million viewership. And then it dropped off. Now, the good news was that by the time they got to the Liberty games and they had the final fifth game, they rebounded, and it was over $3 million for the final game.
Right.
So they've. I think what they wanted to do and what they were smart to do was create the marketplace with Caitlin Clark and leverage it. And they've done a good. I want to commend everybody at the WNBA. I think they've done a good job of leveraging Caitlin this season to the maximum that they could. And listen, there's all the conspiracy theories in the world, whether or not, the NFL scripted, Major League Baseball, Yankees, Dodgers, there's all these things you can point to. I don't believe it.
Right.
I don't. I think sports is, that's the majesty of sports. That's why we're here. That's why we have ESPN West Palm, because we love to talk about it, and it's great. So, the WNBA, I mean, they won. I mean, again, good for that. Good on them. Liberty, the original, the OG.
Right.
And they got it done in Madison Square Garden. Couldn't have been scripted better. They had a bunch of stars come out for the game. They need to build on it.
That's how you want to do it, right? And what I would say, too,